What's up, Void Jumpers? It's Wednesday, my favorite Wednesday of the week, and I'm so happy to be back with you. Sorry we missed you last week. We also missed St. Paddy's Day, so today we're going to be making up for that with a belated St. Paddy's Day light availability, especially with our chat store. But yeah, I don't think I have anything else to say. We're going to be playing Monster of the Week, as I always say. I saw that some of you in chat have since picked up this book. Good on you. It's by Michael Sands. Very character and narrative driven. That's why we love it, and we use it, and we turn it into our own thing. I think that's it for me. I'm going to bring in my buddies, who I have missed so much.
Yo, what up, dude?
What's up, freaks?
Hey. What was your favorite Wednesday? Oh my gosh, what?
So I didn't get to break these out last week, but this is actually I didn't have these last week. Timing. Yay. So these are going to be my contribution to our St. Paddy's Day theme is cactus Christmas slippers that jingle.
Oh, they definitely
God,
look like
slippers.
the ghosts of Christmas trees.
What a fabulous thing.
Yeah, and they were at Goodwill, and someone else picked them out for me. So I have people who know me and love me in my life.
Wonderful. All right. Well, you suckers got anything else to say besides anybody else got some cool slippers? I'm about to kick us into our regular gear here, but you have an opportunity.
Do you want Casey to tell us that really sweet joke that you had prepared?
Yeah, please.
No pressure.
Just give me a second. I gotta get it rated PG instead of R. So just give me a second to fine tune the language here. Pirate walks into a bar with a steering wheel hanging out of his zipper. And the bartender says, "Hey, man, what's up with the steering wheel?" And the pirate shakes his head and says, "ER, it'd be driving me nuts."
Okay, I think for being put on the spot,
That's solid.
Yeah.
that's a solid joke.
Yeah, nice work. Nice work.
Thanks. Nothing like starting the stream getting chucked out a window in front of a moving train. So keeps you on your toes. But it
I
gives me
picked you out
something to
because I
do.
knew that you thrive in that environment.
Oh, certainly. And I'm going to have a lot of chilling out time today. So
Yeah, Casey, thanks for joining us. Your character's dead, so I'm happy that you're here to watch.
No, don't
I
say
mean,
that.
only technically, based on the fact that Jesse changed the rules and did let me turn into Puck, which is garbage. But what are you
Yeah,
gonna
we
do?
don't know why that happened yet, do we? We don't.
No, we don't know yet. Yeah.
Let's see.
Yeah, we don't know yet. So let's not get hung up on the technicalities of stuff. Anyway, Stritton, we're going to kick it over to you for Democracy Corner.
That sounds great. So I, along with, I assume all or many of you, was deeply saddened and enraged by the events that took place within the last little over a week in Atlanta and Boulder. And I think in struggling to talk about gun violence and mass shootings, I think what this past year has taught me is that we can get very used to the idea of things just being the way that they are, and that actually there is potential for massive change. So I hope you feel that same way and are similarly enraged and heartbroken and want to take action. There are lots of organizations that you can get involved with, either with your time or your dollars or both. And I encourage you to reach out to them. Certainly every town is a really great organization that's trying to bring a lot of education to the issue of gun violence and mass shootings and advocate for common sense gun reform. So if you have not already checked them out and gotten involved with them, I would definitely check them out. So that's this week's Democracy Corner. Now let's go fry a robot.
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Trin. And with that, we are going to let the recap roll.
Oh, yeah.
How am I supposed to eat it?
Oh, well, I prefer.
Does it look okay?
I suppose I thought it did until
Oh
you
my
asked
God.
me. It looks. I think it looks good. I'm sorry.
Speak up when you're talking.
I'm so nervous around you.
I can't imagine why.
Well, yeah, I'm worried about you, buddy. You, what are you doing to keep busy through the term?
Oh, juggling. Yes,
I tell you, when you're lonely, juggle.
because you can't concentrate on anything else. You're just like, oh, that's on fire. Oh, those are knives.
Hi. I couldn't help you noticing me.
You're gonna need to roll charm on that.
So I'm walking along, and a lot of the braziers. What are the little
Brazers?
brazers?
I can't say that I like you, but I do respect you.
I came here to help you guys get the OSI device.
She's turning around to leave, and she says, Sammy, that's what I realized about you, you know? You're always about to do something great. Yeah, I just don't feel like making a speech. And she turns around, and the goon next to you tosses the safe into the water. Okay. So, despite multiple cliffhangers and the promise of a boss fight, we did get a story time last session. So we're going to dive into that first. Okay?
Are we
this
going to
is
explain what the new things in the store are first, or does that come later and I'm jumping the gun?
Also,
Oh,
super rude to kill me, by the way. Throwing that
Yeah,
sentence, that was
super
super rude. It was like super
I think we can all agree that you had it coming.
rude. Whatever, bro. If you don't think I'm gonna pipe in this whole episode,
You're going to have to fill the time somehow. You don't have a character to play.
Give me
Who
side
knows
characters to
about the
play.
Somebody tell us about the store, because Trin, you're right.
Sure, I'll talk about it.
You knew I meant you, right?
Yeah. Okay, so we've got 3 new perks. Our first one is Cabbage. If you select this, you pick one character that Jesse will then hurl insults in an Irish accent at and throw cabbages at them. They will be covered in cabbage for the entire scene. Does no damage, though. Option...
That's strong.
I'm sorry, it's so good.
It's so good. Thank you, Merc, for the cabbage idea. The second one is Slancha. So Slancha sounds like Slokta a lot. I almost said Slokta.
Bring them back.
I know. So we will cheers no matter what we're doing. We have to break out and cheers to our health. Our charisma goes up 1 point and our dex goes down 1 point. And then
I
our
will
third
also
one,
shake the little bells on my slippers when we do it.
Yes. And then the third one is you can summon a St. Patrick's Day parade. It doesn't matter if we're in battle, that parade's going to come through.
Will also involve slipper shaking.
Mhm.
Yes. And probably
And
some
possibly
clarity.
in fiction, the ghosts of Christmas trees.
Oh my God. Woo! Such good.
Okay. So those are available for whenever. But we are actually going to be jumping backwards in time because this story time was purchased by Sue from chat. And I know that they don't always watch in real time. So if you're seeing this later, Sue, you're the shit. Thank you so much.
We got a donation.
Hot damn.
Tell me about it.
Oh,
Thing just tipped $25 for a slancha. Can we get enough toast to get Rex's charisma up to match Trin's?
Oh,
wow.
That's really sweet.
impossible.
Can we get enough toasts to get Rig's charisma up to match Trin's?
Oh, it worked.
Hashtag toast.
Thank you, Bing.
Thank you,
Uh,
Thing.
I think for these toasts, if they become frequent, which I hope they do, we'll all take turns. I'm going to go first. Since we're not in scene yet, this is just to all of you and everybody watching right now. My Wednesday last week was quite pitiful in comparison to the time I'm sure I'm about to have. So this toast is actually to all of my buddies here and all my buddies in chat. I just want to say, Slancha from Slakta. Thank you, Thing. Okay. Let's get loose. Okay, so we're actually going to be dealing with some problem solvers with the company right now, but we ain't going to see Rex yet. So these comments are directed to
Thinking
my
that
other
Tag
three
could
little
use some cabbage
birds.
whenever needed, but why no corned beef?
What's the action? Tell me more.
Rob donated for a cabbage thing, thinking that Tag could use some cabbage whenever needed, but why no corned beef? So
Rob.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Since Tag's not in this scene, I actually just made a note. I'm going to pocket that. And we got a boss fight tonight that I think the cabbage would... Yeah, I'm hoping that I just have a pocket full of these things when the fight starts. We're on... Let's see. I got a convention that I'm going to use later, so I'll just use it right now. I rarely roll dice, but I will be rolling a little bit today. The planet that we're on is water. We're at a research station set up on one of the very, very few islands in this part of the water planet. It is a company outpost which has been set up to research tides. There's been an incident, and problem solvers have been called in to fix it. We cut inside the base to find them outside a rather large hangar bay door. There are 3 problem solvers and their commanding officer. I will be taking the place of the commanding officer. I'm actually going to throw the other 3 roles to my friends here, Connor, Lisa, and Casey.
That's great for you to give Casey something to do. That's sweet of you, Jesse. Thank you.
It's
He
the
needs
least he can do.
something.
It's the
He
least he
needs
can do.
something.
We love you, Casey. We are glad you're here. You know.
90% of the people here love me. And then there's Jesse.
It's tough love. It's tough love.
It's you being a boo-boo is what it is.
Now, we, the 4 of us, have fought our way through this facility. There's been quite a few little critters running around. We haven't gotten a good look at them, but they've been attacking us from the shadows. Otherwise, the facility's been evacuated. We've now cut our way into the center of this place, and we stand outside the hangar bay door. All signs point towards the nest being on the other side. Your commanding officer, Captain Gorch, steps forward and says, "All right, look, this isn't the way I wanted to spend my weekend either. But we've been called in to fix this problem, and that's what we're gonna do." He pulls up a void shotgun and cocks it and says, "Get ready, because we're kicking down this door and we're going in hot. Any questions?"
Yeah.
Captain?
Yeah, Captain.
Yes,
so,
please, Lee. What do you want?
Yeah, we're gonna kick in the door together then. I know that there is seniority involved. I haven't gotten to kick a door in a long time. I was wondering if maybe anybody would mind if I kind of just took dibs on this door.
Everybody okay with that?
Captain Gorch, I think it's important to note that there has been a inconsistent method for selecting door kicking thus far.
Yeah, Captain. Captain
Yeah.
Gorch. Real quick,
Pleasley.
I just want to comment that Neb's been kicking a lot of doors recently, so it's ironic that he's now the one saying, "Oh, where's the system?" Because really, he's been benefiting from not tracking how many doors have been kicked. Everybody else, it feels like Neb's been kicking in a lot of doors.
I think you're speaking for everyone here as opposed to just for yourself, and I'm feeling a little attacked based off.
Hold
of-
on a second.
I'll just say that
just a second,
for
fellas.
myself and say I think that everyone agrees that Neb's been kicking in a lot of doors.
Hashtag story time. I'd like something a little different from these. At the end of the season, as we leave the Void Planet, I'd like to hear a noir-style monologue from each character going over the story so far and where they think they're going next.
Oh, cool.
If that is what I think it is, I believe that is going to be a delayed story time as well, post arc.
Who does the thank you go to for that one?
I think Merc.
Yeah, that's a mark for the
Merc.
win, as
Okay.
per usual.
Thanks.
I will check in and make sure that we're on the right track here, but I think I know what they're talking about.
Cool.
Now, fellas, look. Just settle down for a second. Gracey, you're kicking in the door, all right? You, Gracey, what do you not even know your own name?
See, this is why I've been kicking down the doors. Gracey can't even figure out how to speak, let alone walk over and lift up a leg.
That's enough, Neb. Everybody, lock and load. Gracey. Are you okay?
If I may, I've never actually kicked a door before, and if I kick the door, does that mean I don't have to shoot anything?
No, Gracey, no. Just a second. Gorch puts an arm around Gracey and takes a few steps away, leaving Neb and Fleasley to argue. Gracey, look. You can't sit behind a desk forever. I brought you on this mission because I got faith in you. But I'm putting my neck on the line, getting you on planet. You skipped over a lot of applicants.
I didn't ask you to do that. I really appreciate your faith in me, but I really don't know what I'm doing.
Gracey! It's just that before your father died in combat, the last time, he and I were together on the lightning planet and he was vaporized by one of those freak lightning storms. He grabbed me around the neck and he said, "Look, Gorch, I love you. I love you more than I've ever loved anybody. So I need you to step in for me and take Gracey under your wing." So that's what I'm doing. I'm doing it the best way I know how.
Okay.
So you're gonna kick in that door. And the moment it opens, you're going guns blazing.
Okay.
Okay.
Can I wear my glasses? I can't see anything.
Absolutely. I recommend eye protection. We do not know what's on the other side. And most of the time, these things are covered in ooze.
Okay, I can do this.
Gorch turns around and says, "Neb, Fleasley, get into position."
So that's it. That's the end of the discussion. Gracey just gets to kick in the door.
Fleasley, sorry, Neb, Fleasley's right. You've been kicking in a lot of doors lately, okay? I didn't want to say anything, but obviously you made a stink, so we have to address it. Cat's out of the bag. You've kicked in a lot of doors.
Yeah.
Fine.
Gorch,
Okay.
stop being a jerk.
Excuse me?
Don't talk to the captain that way.
Her blood's up, okay?
I'm sorry.
Her
Yeah,
blood's
she's
up
getting
because
nervous.
we're
It's too
about to
much-
get into combat. So I'm going to let it slide.
Oh, I see how it is. Definitely.
Get in the position, goddammit.
I'm ready.
Fine.
All right, the squad points guns at the door, and Gracey prepares to kick it in. Gracey, let it rip. Roll plus strength. Your strength is +1.
Okay. 4.
Gracey kicks in the door so
Okay, hey,
hard.
what's up, everybody? I'm back. Sorry, I just had to take a quick call. I'm ready to kick in the door now. Please,
Fleasley,
Yeah?
Gracey's kicking in the door.
I'm kicking in the door.
God.
Gracey kicks in the door so hard it flies off its hinges and she goes tumbling into the room after it. The room inside is a pitch black and you can't see a thing. The rest of you approach and click on the flashlights that are on your rifles and you start to scan the room. But Gracey's nowhere in sight. Instead, you just see an accumulation of what at first you take to be mold, but you quickly realize is some kind of thick green ooze. And Gorge says, I told you, it's ooze. Gracey, can you hear me? There's movement in the shadows.
Yes,
Are you okay?
I got a scratch on my elbow, but I'm okay.
Okay. They move the flashlights over and find Gracey huddled in the ooze. Yes.
Captain, I just want to get your permission real quick to apply a Band-Aid to Gracey.
Yes, please.
Just-
Neb.
That's
cover.
very appreciated. I'm over in the corner on the ground.
Okay, yeah. So I'm going to go ahead with that. If anybody's got any feedback about my application technique, really anything like that, obviously you know that I'm really receptive to constructive criticism. I just want to be the best squad mate I can be. All right, Gracey, I'm coming for you.
Neb.
Careful, hurt.
Gord pulls Neb aside and says, look, obviously Fleasley just airs these things out because he's trying to pick a fight. I think it's big of you not to engage in the whole Band-Aid thing. Thank you.
Hey, Neb, I'm putting on the Band-Aid now, just so you know.
Just breathe, Neb.
Oh, yeah, peeling off the little sticky things.
Okay, can you stop talking and just do it?
Yeah.
We see Fleasley standing over Gracey, peeling the back off of a Band-Aid, being an ass, and behind him, these large leathery wings unfurl from the ceiling, and a giant slithering form drapes down until it curls on the floor and rises up behind Fleasley. It's a bit too dark for everybody to see, but once the fear is registered and flashlights go over, Fleasley, you're the only one who's not aware of this. Everyone has got their guns trained behind you and the beams are cutting through the light, illuminating what is now just one large mouth full of circles of serrated teeth, huge wings, legs like a millipede. It is a horror, and it is just oozing this thick green sludge that is coating the floor. Fleasley, what are you doing?
Oh, these we're gonna need some Neosporin for this one. Luckily, I got an extra tube in my fanny pack.
You're so prepared.
Yeah.
You're so prepared.
Now this is gonna sting a little bit. Just give you a little squeeze.
Right before he squeezes it, the tail from the creature whips out and slaps Fleasley across the room, who then crashes into the wall. We're going to enter into initiative for a round of combat here. Gorge goes first and just fires from the hip with the void shotgun, catching the creature in one of the wings, punching a hole in it, but the creature does not seem to mind. Which brings us to Neb.
So, Neb, in classic fashion, horror movie style, just falls into like a slow motion trance, like, Leslie! And like throws his gun down. He's like, Gracey! And draws like a big knife for whatever reason. Like flips around, like running forward into absolute danger, and like jumps into the dark and just starts trying to stab into the beast. Absolutely overcome with passion and fear for his comrades.
Okay. You're going to roll kick some ass with a +2 to strength.
Oh, that dice is a spinning. Oh, wow. That's a 12 with +2 to strength.
Okay. Gracey, you see Neb soar through the air over you, knife in hand, and cling to the long tentacly body of this monster and start plunging a knife into it. There's green sauce flying everywhere, and you are coated in it. Luckily, you wore glasses so that none of it gets in your eyes.
Eye protection.
What do you do, Gracey?
I see this act of selfless heroism.
Hold on, Fleasley. We're going Gracey first. Only because you got your shit
Who
stomped
the
in.
fuck am I?
You're Fleasley.
Fleasley.
This is awful. We've got Gorch, Gracey, Fleasley, and Neb. Is that accurate?
Yes, Captain Gorch, by the way.
Yes, I'm your commanding
Sorry,
officer.
man. I was sorry.
Gracey, you're sitting there covered in ooze.
My Band-Aid.
It has since dripped off of your arm.
Oh, I thought he didn't even get the chance to put it on. I thought he was squeezing the neosporin and then he got flung.
He was so interested in telling Neb how he was doing it that he ended up doing a pretty poor job.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna grab my gun and does this thing have a safety on it?
It does.
I'm gonna fiddle around with it till I figured out how to turn off the safety.
You hit a button eventually. It does take some time as Neb is above you, just like wailing on this creature. And you hear the void blaster go.
Wow. I'm gonna look, I'm gonna close one eye, and I'm gonna try to aim it so I don't hit Neb.
Okay.
And then
You're
I'm
gonna
just
roll
gonna say,
some.
oh, baby. And I'm gonna close my eyes, I'm gonna pull the trigger.
Okay, you're definitely going to be rolling with a -1 because you just closed your eyes. That'll be kick some ass, please.
I rolled a 12.
As you are plunging this blade into the creature, Neb, you hear as an outline of void blasts just carve around you perfectly, creating a Neb-shaped silhouette on the monster. And as it explodes in some ooze, you are actually flung back onto the ground. The creature peels in half and falls backwards in a heap. It is not moving. Which brings us to Fleasley, who may or may not be in this Skype call.
No, Fleasley's only around for other people's turns. Oh, you getting kicked out a door? No. Not if Fleasley's here. So what you should do is, if you want to bring Fleasley back, just make the show about somebody else, and then
Right.
come swooping back in.
Fleasley's crumpled over by the wall. He seems to be taking his time getting to his feet. The monster, for the time being, is in a puddle of goo. It was not moving. It is now shuddering, which brings us back to Neb. What do you do?
I run over to Fleasley's side, and I grab him by the lapels, and I'm like, "You're okay. You're okay. I understand. It's shell shock. It's the noises. It's the monsters. It's the ooze. I'm sorry I lost my cool with you earlier. I just want you to know that these last few months have been really tough on me. My being away from my puppy for so long is just more than I can handle. He's so cute and long, and he's got this waggly tail. And every time my boyfriend sends me a picture, I just wish him so much. Come back to me, Fleasley. Come back.
Fleasley, you're roused by Neb, who has crossed the room to scoop you up into his arms and apologize in the most dramatic fashion. The creature is in a puddle of ooze off to the side and shuddering now. What would you like to do, Fleasley?
And that one is...
That's you.
That's
Are
me.
Fleasley.
Okay, you may have noticed that I've gone offline for a bit. What did I miss? The creature's dead?
The creature looked dead for a second. It was blasted into nothingness by Gracey. It then collapsed into a puddle and was still. In that moment, Neb raced over to you and scooped you up into his arms to apologize for treating you that way. The creature's now shuddering on the floor.
Neb, you don't need to apologize. I need to apologize. I just get so desperate to control other people and make myself seem better than I am. You know, there's no substitute for training, and so as soon as we get out of here, I'll start doing sit-ups again.
As Fleasley is making this apology, we actually see the creature slither back up a little bit and then start to tap into the ground as though it's a horse testing whether or not it can put weight onto a leg. And then a second creature drips down, and then a third and a fourth. And when you guys turn around to shine your light up into the sky, you can see that what you took for the creature is actually just the appendage of a much larger beast, which is stuck up onto the ceiling, draping down these long, razor-mouthed, winged tentacles. Gorch takes that moment to fire several shots at the creature and says, "Fall back! Fall back! We need to get out of here!" And starts heading back towards the door.
All right. I would say what I'm going to do, but I'm going to let Fleasley go first.
Pretty pretty. So Captain Gorch has made the fallout yell.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Fleasley, who has been, I think, like sitting in sort of a, not quite an embrace, but just like sort of leaning up, sort of reaching out for this sweet moment with Neb, sees the monster, screams, and just pushes Neb out of the way and starts running.
Okay. So Fleasley's sprinting back. You are pushed away roughly, Neb, as he tries to escape. What would you like to do?
I'm going to grab my void rifle and lay down a suppressing fire and scream wildly, just spraying as I back up towards the door, a la more action cliches to try to somehow bungle these pretty elementary tactics.
Okay. Gracey, Gorch, and Fleasley have exited, and Neb is laying down some suppressing fire. What would you like to do?
Oh, I was already backed to the door, mumbling to myself, I have a 4 o'clock appointment with the accountant that I can't miss, and I already shot the creature, so I am going to slide out of here as quickly as possible.
Okay. You make it out alive. Gorch is standing at the doorway now, shouting into the hangar bay, "Nab! Nab! Take my hand!"
I keep firing with one arm, like just getting like a little too caught up in like they desperately need me to lay down the suppressing fire, even though everybody's already escaped. Yelling something like, "It's okay, I can hold him off!" And then
you approach in slow motion, firing with one hand, and reach out with the other. And just as your fingers brush Captain Gorch's, 2 of the monstrous tentacles slide down out of the ceiling and rip you into the air. And Gorch says, "No!"
Okay, the only thing that dropped is the photo of me and my boyfriend and our wiener dog that I would have wore for protection. Yes.
It like floats down out of the sky, and before it's closing, it gets caught in the draft and like puffs through. So Fleasley actually catches it and sees a picture of you and your boyfriend next to the dog. And Gorch is just pounding on the door, going, "No! God damn it, no!" And you seem to be in a moment of calm. Gorch turns around and he says, "What is that thing? We aren't prepared for this. We don't have the weapons for this, and we're down a man. We've been sent here to die. Nobody could take that thing. Nobody. We're gonna need an army. We're gonna need an army." And then you hear, underneath Gorch's heavy breathing, boom, 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 coming back from down farther in the hallway, out of the base that you guys just cut your path through. Boom, boom, and it stops right outside the door that led you to this chamber. To be clear, not the monster door. The door slides open, and a thick, dramatic curl of fog escapes. And in this fog, we see the shape of another problem solver. This one's kitted out like a motherfucker. We're talking sleek, black, plasteel armor that's been form-fitted, and there's like an underlayer of some experimental Kevlar. Really dope headband, face paint, 2 huge miniguns, jetpack. And this person steps into the chamber to join you. And she says,
I am the army.
Gorge says,
Yes.
who are you?
I'm Rex. And I am the reinforcements.
Everybody in the room gets quiet at the sound of your name, Rex. And they say, no, we thought you were holed up on Blight, knocking back the rebellion. What are you doing here?
I'm here to save your asses. Now out of my way.
Everybody curls backwards to the wall. They drop their weapons. They're just like crying. And
Fleasley's got a little disposable camera that he takes out. He like winds up and takes a snap.
I flip him off.
almost like a pose, though, right? Like you. Wait
Yeah,
for the
like it
flash.
looks really cool.
In the photo, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So Rex approaches the door, and before you go in, Rex, you have your hand on the door open button. Gorch grabs you around the arm, and at your look, takes his hands off, but says, "Look, we've heard about you, sure, but I've never seen anything like that. It's the size of a moon. It must have eaten everybody in this facility. Just be careful."
Good. It's been a while since I've had a challenge.
Rex keys the door and strides into the hangar. Gorge slams it shut behind. There's a moment of silence, and then the entire facility starts to shake. There's the sound of miniguns. We actually see bullets punching through the wall. Fleasley peeks through one of them, only to see Rex like flying through the air, shooting these miniguns with her jetpack. There's explosions. The door's blown off its hinges. Smoke and fire are just curling out. This goes on for like 10 minutes. And then, all at once, it stops. And then Neb flies through the door covered in green slime and slides up to Fleasley's feet.
Neb! Say it, Neb. Say it. What is it?
That was awesome.
Rex walks back into the room. She doesn't have a mark on her. There's maybe a fleck of goo on her. Yeah. And Gorch just looks at you. He's in shock and says, What do we tell the company?"
Whatever you want.
And Rex walks away.
She totally touched my face with her hand.
No way!
Yeah,
Never wash that face again, Neb.
never. I just gently caressed the slime.
Good job, team. Good job.
Yeah, we did great. Is this a good time for a little post-mortem? Notes about kind of what went well, what we can improve on next time?
Yeah, we can
Yeah,
celebrate
I'll-
great she kicked
I'll-
outdoors.
Fleasley, you know we post-mortem in the dropship. Now move out! And everybody scoops up their gear and they run out.
And we see that all four of us have incredibly goofy runs. We're all just like, oh.
And scene.
Thanks,
that was
Mark.
a taste of Rex's background. That's actually from Sue.
Oh, thank you, Sue. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
the Rex scene. Okay, I mean, that was silly and all, but I feel like that was Rex's job before this mission. You know, like they'd call in reinforcements and she would just show up and everybody would just be like, why? And then you'd go in, do your thing, and then leave.
Did anybody else see that the miniguns had bayonets on them?
That were also spinning?
Yeah. And had little miniguns attached to them.
I for some reason, I always imagine Rex as an asymmetrical weapon wielder. So it's like you've got the spinning bayonet on one, but then you just have a regular old circular like buzzsaw on the other one.
Oh,
So
nice.
it's like
Dig it.
come through doors, or it's like one of the alien tentacles tries to grab a thing and she can just like slice it right off. Just like, nah, this arm's the lumberjack arm.
Yeah, I dig it. That works for me.
Thanks, Sue. That was fun. That was a lot of fun.
Sue.
Thank you.
All right,
thank you.
now we are going to return to the
I
Void
like
Jumper's
them.
primary timeline.
Hey, I
Yes,
appreciate you
thank-
not killing this character too. Appreciate that. That's nice. That's nice of you. Sweet of you.
Little consolidation prize there for Casey.
Bullseye on your head.
Okay, before we get started, does anybody need to level up?
Oh.
I do. I'm a first level corpse.
You do actually get a move that just comes with choosing that class. It's Lie Still. It's a
Oh, boy.
passive ability, so you don't
Go.
even have to roll.
Zing. It's a passive aggressive ability. Yeah. Gut
Okay.
zing,
Ooh, these zingers.
Anybody leveling up besides the corpse?
No.
Okay. So it is now day 3. It is Wednesday afternoon, if I remember correctly. The plan is that you guys are going to be fighting CNAC on Thursday, the day before your board debriefing. The last episode that we had, you guys all went about your own ways to kind of deal with some stuff. Sam went to go handle the Morellis.
Ended real well.
We all know how that went. Tag created some devices to help you guys all sync up for entering into the phase state. Bryn, you went to go see the Void Summoner to ask for help in this endeavor. You rolled a partial success, which means you will be able to phone a friend one time and have Ira hook you up, but they will not stay for the fight. Rex, you went... you went and got bombs, right?
Yeah.
What were they? What kind of bombs in particular? like-
They,
Remote mines or something?
yeah, we had a name, but they're like the implosion rather than explosion type.
Right. And you got
Uh,
3.
I got 3 of them, and I think some of the restrictions are that I have to physically plant them on him.
Right.
But
And
that-
if you do all 3 instead of 1 at a time, they do something special? Did I write it down? What is it?
I think so. Chat, correct me if I'm wrong here, but what I remember is that if we detonate all 3 at the same time, it's like a failsafe for killing him.
Gotcha.
But that if we detonate them one by one, it could hinder his ability to open portals, is what
Gotcha.
I remember.
Okay, we're going to roll with that. Okay, so
Sorry,
Yeah.
a quick question.
Yeah.
What is the point of having rules if you're not going to follow them, Jesse?
I didn't have the greatest notes for the bombs because we kind of fired from the hip. So if Rex is telling me that she's
No,
got
no,
some
no.
stuff-
I'm fine with Rex's bombs. I'm talking about you killing Sam.
Oh, well, speaking of that, I know that everybody is really nervous and they want to see how that is going to resolve. Obviously, the biggest cliffhanger of the episode last time was when Sam was sinking into the water after Sophia blasted him and he died. But I feel like that was a pretty clean-cut resolution. Not much left up to the imagination.
Yeah, it was
So
really. the mistake was thinking it was a cliffhanger. It wasn't a cliffhanger at all. It was like the most conclusive end that we've ever had to an episode.
Yeah, I agree. So we don't need to address it.
All right. Well, then I'm going to be Neb from here on out.
Sweet.
I want to see pictures of the little wiener dog. That's what I want.
Yeah.
All right, so we're actually going to pick up after all of these scenes where everybody meets back at Sam's office. The plan was for all of you to go your separate ways, accomplish your different missions, and then meet back at the office to do any final prep and get one good night's sleep before you spring this sucker tomorrow. All of you...
Real restful.
Yeah.
Real time to really snooze and, you know, all the cells turn over real good.
Well, all of you get back to Sam's office. Jenny's there, keeping an eye on your baby men.
Oh, yeah, and I have one unshrinking thing.
You have the ability to unshrink one person?
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you going to make him do like a series of challenges to see who gets unshrunk?
Like the twit race from Monty Python? You have the option.
I'm crazy.
Fucking loco.
Okay, so you guys all get back. Jenny has actually just kind of slid that trash can where all the baby men were tied up together. Just like, oh, you had one of them with you. No.
Sam took the Morelli's one, didn't he?
Yeah, that's right. So there's actually only two baby men left.
Yeah.
And they are off to the side. So the rest of you are just hanging out in Sam's office. The hours start to tick by. At first, it doesn't really seem like anything is amiss because you all kind of staggered back. Each of these tasks took different amounts of time. But as it starts to get dark and then late, Sam's absence is a concern. Jenny has called a couple different places to see if anybody's seen him. The only news that she could get was that somebody saw him going into the parlor, the Morelli's nightclub, but she couldn't get a confirmation from anybody inside because if you remember, they'd locked the place down. And the last thing Sam had heard before he died was that they were preparing for war. So you don't really have a good idea of where he might be. What do you do with your last night before the big game? You don't need to have anything. If there's a night of stress and indecision, that is also fine. I guess I'm just offering you guys a chance if you have anything in mind.
And we're all. I'm sorry, I know you just mentioned this. We're all just kind of just camping out in Sam's office for the night, or we've gone.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd like to pull Jenny aside and say, listen, we've only worked with Sam for a few months, but this doesn't seem like him, especially on the eve of something big.
Yeah, I'd be lying if I said I wasn't nervous too, but it's not completely unlike Sam, especially in the heat of something thick like this, to go quiet for a little while. I don't think that's a guarantee that he's okay, but if he's dealing with the Morellis especially, or something went wrong and he needed to shake them and not bring them back to you, he knows what the plan is. He knows what to be tomorrow.
Look, I don't know how to say this, but Jenny, do we need to consider the possibility that in a situation as ugly and inescapable as this one seems, where there are multiple factions vying to make it out, that Sam might have seen an opportunity to make a good deal for himself?
She actually, you see her expression, which up till now has been kind of like a spunky, good-natured, smart aleck. All of that humor disappears, and Jenny puts her finger in your chest, Tag, and actually kind of walks you over to the corner. You do not leave the room, but you can tell she's trying to be private. And she says, there's a lot of things that a lot of people would say about my Sam in this city. But one thing I knows for sure is that Sam don't let down nobody. So I would ask you, if you knows what's good for you, to keep that cowardly shit to yourself.
I don't even think Tag responds. I think he's like mortified. His stomach is vibrating. His chest feels hot. His knees start shaking a little bit. And he just kind of plops down on the couch and just stares straight ahead. It feels like now he's the one who's betrayed his team.
She just kind of like, gives you a couple slaps on the face, and she says, she can see that it's affecting you, but she says in a slightly harsh but less harsh way, she says, lucky for you, mister, he seems to have been taking a liking to you. So you's gonna find out how loyal he is.
Yeah, I really wasn't trying to say that he wasn't.
I get it.
I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry.
We're stressed. She just kind of like lets you off the hook and walks away.
Well, then if that's not what's happening and we can't get a hold of him, and look, I want my beauty rest as much as the rest of you, but at some point we got to be there for Sam.
Yeah. Is there any way to do tracking magic?
Oh yeah, for sure. We've never done anything like that before. But I think it's very easy. I think that there's even rules for it. I'm just double checking. There's rules for it in Use Magic.
I think between Bryn's abilities as a summoner, as open-ended as they are, and Tag's recent level up, the Cerebro.
Yeah.
It feels like that's a good start.
Let's break it out.
Sweet.
Tell us one more time about Cerebro, just because it's new. We haven't used it, right?
We have not.
Okay. Yeah. Just give us a little flavor about Cerebro before we use it.
Let me see what kind of text we gave it formally. Okay, so the mechanics are 10 plus, locate and communicate. 7 through 9, locate, not communicate. 1 through 6, reveal my location.
Okay.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So I think narratively what's happening is that as Tag comes to know himself and grows in his abilities as this kind of psychic skirmisher, he's just realizing that there's kind of a, how sometimes when you're very cold, you're just like, and you're shivering, and someone will come up and say like, hey man, just like, yeah, it's cold. You got to breathe into it. You got to accept it. And if you can do that, if you can kind of get your mind around that fact and let go of trying to shield yourself and shiver against it, you find that you relax into it, and a lot of that oppressive cold goes away. I think that that's how it works, that the more he tries, the more he gives up running from who he is, who his father is, all that stuff, the more he accepts that these abilities are innate to him. He kind of breathes into him, and there's just an awareness that he has always had but has been blocking out. And I think that's where Cerebro comes from.
Okay. Well, let's get a roll in just to see how we're going to be looking at this.
Yeah. Do we want to? I did like, Bryn, that this was an idea of yours. Can we kind of tag team this in any way?
I mean,
Sure.
we can, but it doesn't sound like you need my help with that unless you roll bad.
Oh, well, okay. I was just, I always like a good Laurel and Hardy. Yeah, I'll give it a shot, and then maybe, we'll see from there. That is a 9, an 8. That is an 8.
Okay. Give me just one more time the partial success description.
Locate, not communicate.
Okay. How do you do it? I mean, what is Cerebro? I mean, we're using Cerebro, but that's a facility, you know.
Sure.
So like, what is how does Tag pull this off?
I think it's meditative. I think it's a little like some kind of Mark Hamill Last Jedi work happening. Or I guess less Mark Hamill, more Daisy Ridley and Adam Driver, just a kind of meditative introspection that allows him to locate, feel out, and ideally communicate with.
Okay.
Someone.
It's a new power, and at first, it's not working, and you think to yourself, surely this is because I'm experimenting with this for the first time. But then you start to find a little thread in this place that you've entered. We often talk about these like different states you can enter, and with you, it's usually the face state. So I think that you are there, and you do find a little thread that has a distinct Samness about it, and you start to pull that thread and follow it to where it goes, and you find yourself going farther and farther away from this planet and deeper into the phase state. And as you follow this thread, the phase state, it never seems to have like a time of day. It just is a magical plane. It starts to get darker and darker and darker. And it doesn't feel like you're going into a tunnel and walking in a straight line. It feels like you're swimming straight down into a very deep pool of water. You cannot tell how large the pool is or how deep. It is just this darkness below you. And you can tell that that is where the thread is taking you. The darkness is more and more oppressive until you can see little other than this thread that you're following. Do you want to go deeper?
Yeah, I think it happens almost automatically. He just sort of forgets where he is and what he's doing and just keeps walking, keeps following it.
Sure. As you follow this down, you're struck by a realization that you've extended yourself perhaps farther than you have in the past into this realm. It's like an astral projection, you know, like you are here, but you are also in the real world sitting on the floor. And you feel like you have just gone to the extent that you could reach into this place. And as you think of that, you get to the end of this thread. There's a jerk on the line right as you're coming to the end, and you hold it up to find that it's been frayed. There's not actually anything on the end of it. And when you realize that you've just been led into this dark place, you are now at the bottom of a very deep well, and Sam is not here with you. You are alone. What would you like to do?
Can I come out of it?
Yeah, I think you can. If you just want to return to it, it will take some effort on the part of Tag, but it will not require another roll. You can just feel the distance you've traveled into this place.
Okay, then I want to just see if I can do a investigation on the frayed end of that tether to see what happened.
Sure, roll investigate a mystery.
Okay, 4.
You can't tell for certain. It is not a clean cut. It looks like somebody took a piece of yarn and pulled it apart until it snapped. Okay. So it is a bit frayed and unraveled at the end. But that's really, with a 4, that's all the information you're getting.
Okay.
I will give you this. The dark place that you're in, this is not familiar to you. You've been into the phase state plenty since this campaign has started, not too often before, but you've been here enough to know for sure this place does not look like any other place you've ever seen here.
Well, then let me do this. Because I am so familiar with the phase state and can often glean things from that, let me see if I can move from this place and just see the phase version of this place. Like
You
does that
are
make sense?
still.
Like, put on my phase glasses.
You're still. You haven't left. You've just entered into a place, and you're going down. You
Okay.
just entered into a place that you didn't know existed in this world.
Okay. Then I'm gonna pop out of it, and Tag is holding up his hand as if still holding this thread, and looks to Rex and Jenny and Bryn, and just is shaking his head and can barely get the words out. And just Sam's not. He's just not. He's not.
Is Puck there?
No, they always their signals are intertwined. There's not. It's just gone. I've never seen anything like it before. It's just not. It just isn't. It's not. It's not.
Isn't Puck like immortal? How is that possible?
I don't know. Puck should have had the strongest signal in the phase state. Puck should have been a neon sign in the phase state, but there's not even an explanation to it. It's like he just got plucked out of existence.
I'm going up to Jenny and I'm going to say, where would the Morellis be right about now, generally?
I mean, I was just on the phone calling around for Sam. It seems like they're locked down at the parlor. That place is a fortress. They're preparing for war.
The Morellis don't have that kind of technology. No matter, they couldn't do something like this. Like, this is the most advanced magic. This is the most advanced science. Who could do that besides the company or one of your summoners?
I don't know what to tell you, lady. Before you cats rolled in here, I never even seen magic that often before. You know, it's rare. You pop it off like it just is at your fingertips. But the only time I seen it is when the summoner Ira does a talk or something, and even then it's rare. Ira's father doesn't even do it in public. The only reason that Ira does is because they're young, I hear, and they're showing off.
Can you try him again, the Morellis? Can you make that call?
Yeah. She goes over to the phone, picks it up, and starts to dial. Tag, I think you actually walk over to the window and throw it open to get some fresh air, and you just plunge your head out into like the cool, dark night, and then you get smashed in the face by a cabbage. And there's actually a guy down on the street who's like, "Oh, what are you looking at, you fucking boiser? Oh, you long face, boiser? What are you looking at?"
So I was just looking to have an introspective moment of mourning. I'm sure. What did I?
It's terrible timing. God.
You scared me. You fucking scared me, you boiser.
Well, yeah. How did I scare you? I just opened a window and leaned my head out to sniff the cold night air and find some solace in my own quietude. You threw a cabbage in my face.
He grabs another one. He's got just like this burlap sack of cabbages. He grabs another one and cocks it back and says, "All right, boiser, you better back up."
No. I was just, I don't want it. It hurts. You'd think that it would just kind of turn into coleslaw, but it's a whole head of cabbage.
You see Tag turn back into the room and he's covered in cabbage.
What?
I don't know. He called me a boiser, I think. And
What?
it was kind of fast and surprising. I don't know. I think a boiser. Boyson?
What is... Okay. Had enough of this
I
planet.
kind of pick Tag up a little bit and I shake him so all the cabbage.
There's cabbage
fall
going
off.
everywhere. About that time, Jenny hangs up the phone and says, "They're answering. They know it's me, but they're not telling me nothing. They said
Hashtag toast Laheim. Here's to life. It's worth noting that this is the Void Planet Cook's not the only Spriggan any more than Zim was the only Tyne. If dare not in one place, dare in another.
I will neither confirm nor deny fan theories. Who's making our toast?
It's Merc.
Who? Merc?
Oh, I thought you were saying who gave us the toast. No, you go, Lisa. Make a toast.
Cheers to surviving cabbage.
Cheers.
And keeping our dignity.
Good luck.
Yes, dignity.
Shake that tree spirit.
Huzzah.
Huzzah.
I
What's
think
it
this
called,
whole time
Sconsa?
Rex is wandering around the room going like, this has to be the company. Like this has to be the company. I'm gonna call Kale. She can't do this to us.
Would you like to call Kale?
I think I would, but I want to give my other adventurers an opportunity to try and talk me out of it. If they want to.
No, absolutely not.
I'm not gonna talk any. I'm about ready to call Ira, so go for it.
Cool. You got a move called. I think I put it underneath Haven. It's called Dealing with the Company.
Oh yeah. What does that do again? I forgot that I had that.
I'm looking it up. We got stuff for it. That's fucking professor stuff. Yeah, Dealing with the Company. Okay, you're going to roll plus. The way that I have it written is you get to roll plus any, so the stat of your choice must fit within the bounds of the narrative. So if you can justify it, you can use any stat.
Hashtag cabbage, please gods, let me hit Kale with cabbage.
Okay.
Yes.
Who are we
We
saying
will-
thank you for these two
yes.
cabbages?
I don't.
Cabbage one was
It was
Rob.
Rob. I remember that.
But he got it at the beginning
I
of the
remember
stream.
that.
Thank
Yeah.
you, Rob.
Merc,
Or the lazy
Merc is giving us the kale cabbage.
All right.
Okay.
Smart, Mark. smart.
Kale cabbage.
Oh,
I will make sure that the call's on video for you there, Rex.
Sounds
Um,
like we're halfway to a salad.
So just roll plus any. What do you got?
Since I think this will involve some element of manipulation or intimidation, I think it makes sense to use that new ability where I roll strength instead of charm.
Okay.
Although your charm is pretty high after those 2 drinks.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I still think that only brings me to a 1. My charm was -1.
Wow. Okay.
It's not my strong suit.
Yeah. Yeah. We all have the things that we do well.
Alright.
So you've got there are some parameters here
Okay, yes.
because what you're asking for is information. They will be skewed slightly, but I do got a list of how this works.
Okay. I know I would also have that list if I looked it up, but I'm going to rely on you to relay the important parts of it.
You got it. I buried it down in like the spaceship section.
Oh no. Oh dear. I don't have any +1s, do I?
Mm-mm.
All right. Yeah, that's a fail, even with
Okay.
the strength bonus.
Give yourself an experience.
Yep,
the
I'm
way
just gonna mark that off.
The way that this is worded is you screwed up. You might be suspended or under investigation or just in the doghouse. You certainly aren't going to get any help until you sort it all out. So
Well, we were already kind of there, so
now, so to be clear, your character wouldn't be aware of your result. So you are just calling Kale to ask what you're going to ask. You dial her private line. She answers. She seems like she's got like a pencil in her teeth. You know, she's like hair is up, pencil in the teeth, kind of like really busy. And she just says, "What?"
what? What do you think? What? How dare you and the company, or you specifically, pull this on us at the last minute? Sam is our friend, and we need him.
Hagen? You're talking about Hagen?
Of course. Who else would I be talking about?
I don't know. What are you talking about, Rex? I'm in the middle of a lot right now. You know the Morellis are gearing up for war? They are shooting out on the street.
They're always shooting out on the street. That's what the company does. They go and clean up the mess afterwards that they've caused.
Okay, Rex, I'm sorry. Just calm down, okay?
Calm down? Calm down. The company has stolen one of our people and hidden them from us and is probably doing experiments on him again, and you're acting like you have no idea what's going on.
Wait a second. You're saying that the company's done something to Sam?
Of course. Who else has that kind of power?
She doesn't answer. She actually just starts typing. You can see she's typing underneath, and she's looking at whatever it is that she's pulling up, and she says, no. I suppose it could be the board, but it wouldn't be. And she's looking, and she's looking, and she's looking. And she looks to you, Rex, and she says, I'm going to forgive this interruption because I can tell you're in a state. But there isn't anything on this computer, and I am tapped into the mainframe here at HQ that has anything to do with Hagen. And as she's about to speak, a cabbage actually smashes into her face and explodes. And there's a little leaf like half obscuring the camera. And she's like, spitting cabbage. She goes, what the fuck was that? And you hear from like probably outside her office, you just hear this, oh, you better watch it there, boys. Are you coming out here taking my cabbage? You're coming here, Boyser. And Kale says, Boyser? And she starts digging around in her desk, and you just hear, yeah, you better watch it. Come down here, undercut my prices. You never seen anything. You got this stiff upper lip. I bet you seen like you smell something bad, huh? You bet you seen like you smell something bad. And then Kale stands up into the frame so that you can just see her hand, and it's wrapped around what looks like a punch dagger that is a lightsaber. And it just goes, and you just see this, Rex, whatever it is, it wasn't us. Now I have to go. I have to go destroy someone. And then she hangs up.
I think Rex just sits there stunned for a second and turns to everybody else. And I mean, I know she's lied to me so many times, but that didn't feel like a lie. I don't think it's the company.
Bryn,
I'm to be a summoner. Why can't I just walk up to the Morellis and ask them some questions? They don't answer me. I will set a fireball to every one of them.
yes.
Jenny chimes in and says, I suppose you could, but they don't answer to nobody, Bryn. They don't answer to the company. They don't answer to the white shirts. They think that they're the next in line to take over this city. And the last thing they're going to do is show weakness.
Do they have magic?
No, but the parlors where the leadership might be, but they're a plague. They're all over this city. They're dug in everywhere.
Sam had ex-wives here, right? Maybe one of them wanted him dead.
At that, she looks to you, Bryn, and says, oh, shit.
What?
Oh shit, what?
Sophia.
Sophia?
One of his ex-wives is Mumbles Morelli's firstborn. She's in line to take over. She doesn't do this. She's not part of this. She's never been part of this. I don't know.
Even better, then she'll want to help us. If we're going to find Sam, she's our best shot, not only because she knows and loves him, and I do believe must still love him, but also because she's at the top of the ladder for one of the biggest organizations in town. She'll help us.
I think
Yeah.
Jenny is suggesting that Sophia might have had something to do with it.
No, Jenny?
I don't know. I don't want to put any bad ideas in your head. She's actually grabbing her coat off the hook and putting it on. And she says, look, this ain't no phone call conversation. I know how to get in touch with Sophia because Sam set up a bunch of different fail-safes. Look, I'll go check it out. You get some rest. I'll see what's happening. I'll see to Sam, okay?
Jenny,
And she's...
I don't mean to condescend, but not only is it a war zone, but we need Sam. You know him and this city better than us, and Sophia better than us. But it really feels like we should come. I don't want to speak, Rex, Bryn, for you two, but I don't think any of us are just gonna doze right off, knowing that you're out there and Sam is who knows where.
Look, you've taken a lot of measures to put this plan in action. I'm the only one sitting here who doesn't have nothing to do during the big show tomorrow. This can be my thing. If I don't come back, if Sam doesn't come back, none of that matters. Because if you don't figure out whatever you got to figure out with that freaky deaky robot, it doesn't matter what happens tonight. We go out there, we step on the wrong toes, we get in a fight with the Morellis, we get abducted by the white shirts. We don't know what's going to happen. And then that sets everything in a delay pattern. And everything you work so hard to set up, poof. So I sneak out. Nobody knows where I go. I know how to get through this city. You let me handle Sophia. No matter what, you got to take care of that robot.
And I say to Tag, we have drawn unwanted attention every time we stepped foot outside this door.
No,
Y'all are loud. I didn't want to say it. She said it. Y'all are loud.
I understand. I get it. I understand. But it just feels like there's something we can do and we're not. It's just hard to sit and wait when Sam is who knows where and who knows how. But I understand what you're saying.
She says, sweetheart, that's my whole life. Every day that Sam goes out on one of these cases, I sit here next to the phone, biting my nails, waiting for him to call or walk through that door. Every day, all I do is wait. This time, I got a shot to go see where the hell he is. So I'm going to take it. You can all post up and watch it for me.
He's very lucky to have you, Jenny.
Yeah, you and I both know that. And she stoops down into the umbrella holder and just pulls out like a sawed-off Void Blaster double-barreled thingy and tucks it into her purse. And then she slips out of the room. Then she pokes her head back in and she says, hey, there's some chow mein in the fridge. Make sure you feed those little babies, okay? And then she shuts it and leaves.
I love Jenny. Jenny's great.
Jenny is really, really, really great. Jenny's definitely a favorite.
Yeah.
We should do like an end of Void Jumpers NPC rating chart. We'll do like a March Madness of the NPCs kind of thing.
If y'all remind me, I'll do a noir monologue at the end of this arc, and I'll do it as Jenny.
Okay, cool.
Or so.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay, so Jenny does not come back. It's already pretty late when she leaves, and she does not come back. The city's in a bit of chaos, so it's not surprising. But yeah.
I'm going to turn to the other two and I say, look, if something's happened to Sam, I hope you both know that I will burn down every last person who had anything to do with it. But I know that he loves this planet and he loves this city. And so if what right now we can do is focus on protecting that city, and that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah. It's just hard. What I saw down there, it was not something I've seen before. I don't know. It was just frightening. It's just seeing something so unnatural as that. It's not even like a lifeline. It's not even the little poop poop, poop poop, poop poop. It's just this piece of connective tissue that every creature has, and he kind of gets goosebumps and stops talking.
We're gonna go to we're gonna try to get some sleep.
Yeah, unless there's anything else you'd like to take care of, I believe that the rest of the night passes in kind of a tense, uneventful slowness.
Yeah, I'd like to do one thing, as I noticed that all the names are mixing up right now. Rex and Tag are sleeping. I would like to sneak over, and I want to touch Rex's bracelet that I made her, so it crackles with the lightning and imbues a sense of peace while she sleeps. And I do the same thing to Tag. And I would like to reach out with my magic and try to connect with Sam's bracelet, even if I can't. I would like to try.
Sure. So you will not need to roll to give your friends a little peace of mind. It is a very still and quiet room, and you are able to use what is a very simple spell to give them a little magical Xanax. You are going to roll use magic. What we're looking for is observe another place or time. And so you are going to be trying to reach out and find this magical thing. I'm going to give you a +1 because it is an item that you created and gave to him, and there's a strong connection that you have to it. So I will give you an additional +1. Yes?
I rolled a 2.
Oh no!
I have leveled up, so that's the plus.
That is good. Do you have the Monster Hunters reference sheet in front of you?
Do I have my what reference sheet?
Like the use magic reference sheet ahead in front of you?
I have the summoner that talks about like moves, temptation, bad luck, cast the bones, force the will.
Okay, I think that this is one of the few times that I think nothing happens. I don't often like to do that. There's not going to be a big scary consequence. I think the consequence is simply that you are going to go into tomorrow uncertain. You get no answers one way or the other.
So I reach out, I try, and I get no answer. Okay.
Yeah, I think that the spell has trouble. It's not like you reach out and you find nothing. It's like you can't get your shit together like mentally enough to perform what is a difficult spell. Yeah. You in that moment, you wish you could just give yourself a little magical Xanax because it seems to be your emotions that are clashing with your focus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
You wake up on Thursday, and it's time to go.
I appreciate you guys, except for Jesse.
I'm fucking loving this episode.
It's so wrong not to have Sam with us.
Yeah, it's fun.
You hate it.
You guys are to meet at the crater that was once Ira's mansion, because that's where it's all going to go down. I want it to be a little bit more set piece-ish. I know that Casey's my dude when it comes to Dragon Ball Z, so you know what I'm talking about when we're talking about like Saiyan Saga out in the wastelands fighting Vegeta. I'm going to just like put a little bit of extra spice on there.
Wait, there's a character named Vegeta?
Yeah, my favorite character, okay? And as Connor pointed out earlier today, it's like I started to say the word vegetable and just stopped.
Or we're trying to say
Yeah. What was it?
Never mind. I'm distracting us.
The Dietrich Summoner family is, as you would say, rich as fuck. And so they've actually begun construction on cleaning up the mansion at a hasty pace per Ira's request to try and get some semblance of normalcy before their father arrives. But there's not much that's been done. We're talking about like some scaffolding that's been set up. and some cleanup. So there are big machines out there. There's a lot of tools. There's a lot of prep. But besides the scaffolding, there are no structures. And as you arrive at the crater, Ira steps out of the swirling dust of nothingness to greet you and says, well, are we ready?
Yeah, hi again. Sorry, but your house is looking great. Looks like you're doing really good. It's really coming together very quickly.
Moksha looks to you, Tag, and goes,
I mean, sorry. Hey, sorry.
I'm still slightly butthurt that he doesn't like me, so I'm trying to be cool. And I'm like, yeah, we're ready.
Cool. Well, in that case, we're going to take a 2-minute intermission. We're about to get into some shit, and I want to take a quick break, so I think this is our spot to pause. We're about to set up the final fight, so enjoy yourself. Oh, we're already out.
Are we? Or is that...
Matt Vansel.
Does it make me magical?
Red card.
Oh no. No.
So you're out 5 minutes because you said by 5 p.m. Wait, actors are like chili. By 5 p.m. they're shit.
Fair enough. It's a fair code.
You in.
The following is a paid advertisement.
You all had the stew?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yeah.
I need everybody to make an easy constitution check.
Are you kidding?
You all rolled ones. That's okay. It's just stew. They serve it at the inn all day long. No big deal.
Should be fine. Okay. What? What?
Your entire party dies of dysentery.
Gosh. We have builds that should let us survive that, but our dice betray us. I wish there were a way to show these dice what we really thought of them.
Has this ever happened to you? Your dice just hate you. You've tried everything to get them to roll well.
That's right. You can do this. Just let me know what you need. Massage, bubble bath. You could go on a date after this. Yeah, Chuck E. Cheese.
Seducing.
Hey, come on, baby. Don't be like that. We're together. And the mood is right.
Reasoning.
You are a 20-sided die. The odds of rolling a 1 are 1 in 20. Now, the odds of rolling 5 ones in a row are 1 in 3.2 million. Why? Why are you sucking? Stop sucking, please.
Threatening.
Oh, really? You think I won't do it? I've done it before. I've done it before, and I'll do it to you.
And even dark offerings.
To the gods of blood, I offer you this sacrifice.
Then you need Die.Club, the ultimate in dice retribution services. Here's how it works, and some testimonials.
So the best thing about Die.Club is that they fit the punishment to the crime. For example, my rogue walking down a dungeon corridor. I roll a spot check. I roll a 1. I fail to see the gelatinous cube. I walk into it, get dissolved completely. Oh! Damn you, Die!
All I had to do was jump out of a tree. I had max ranks and tumble. I rolled a 1.
For a long time, I was just angry at the dice. I wanted to punish them, myself. But it's too hard. It hurt my hand. It hurt the tools I was trying to use. I even ate one of the die one time.
I had so many ranks in balance. So many ranks in balance. A suspension bridge over a pit of lava. I fail the roll, obviously a 1.
So, I send my die off to Die.Club. Now my die is sitting in a jello mold in someone's refrigerator in North Carolina. Thanks, Die.Club.
Take the offending die. Place it and seal it in the provided envelope. Mail it off to Die.Club.
I put my die in an envelope and sent it off to Die.Club, and a week later I got its mangled corpse after being put through a wood chipper. Now I have time for my real friends. My Sailor Moon body pillow and I have gotten very close.
It wasn't just the feeling of satisfaction I got knowing that my die had been utterly destroyed. I got back together with my girlfriend. I got the idea to get that bike tire repair kit, and I haven't had a herpes outbreak in 5 months. Who knew how good my life could be thanks to Die.Club?
Thanks to Die.Club, I don't have to put myself in danger to put my dice in danger.
Everyone likes Die.Club.
Thanks, Die.Club. You gave me the vengeance I was looking for. I recommend it for everyone. Die.Club worked for me.
And me.
And me.
And me.
Go to Die.Club today. That's Die.Club. Hurry and visit Die.Club. There's nothing like the amazing new Die.Club. In case you missed it, that's Die.Club. Die.Club. It's a club where die. Act now and you'll be able to visit Die.Club. Nothing beats the original Die.Club, the same reliable Die.Club your ancestors used. You too can visit Die.Club and experience the magic that is Die.Club. Die.Club. It's your home for dice-related justice. Knock knock. Who's there? It's Die.Club. Don't forget about Die.Club. That name again is Die.Club, spelled Die.Club, and available only at Die.Club.
I'm probably going to be wearing a colostomy bag the rest of my life.
Matt Vansel.
Does it make me magical?
All right, welcome back, everybody. We're in the crater. Iris standing there, and Moksha next to them. We've got Rex, Tag, Bryn. Obviously, Sam is dead, so he is absent from the scene.
Oh,
I'm gonna get you.
I'm
gonna get you.
Just wait for that next GM swap, Jesse.
Oh, Sam falls out of the sky, totally unscathed.
Oh my God! If they made you, oh, Casey, you could change the story.
I'd honor it too. You know, I would. Okay, so Iris says they close their eyes for just a moment and they say, I recall you saying something about the office you've been staying in being warded, protecting you from the portals of that robot, but someone's searching for you now. I can feel them. And as they say that, Bryn, Tag, you open up your mind and you can feel, it would be similar to a much dirtier, much more aggressive version of Tag's Cerebro, but just this hunting, sniffing presence in the phase state, trying to locate where you've gone. Iris says, okay, we know what we're going to do. Is there anything else you want to do before we get started?
Level up.
What would you like to take?
I don't know. Can I just make something up?
Most likely, I will try and balance it, but if you have something in mind, I'm very excited to hear all about it.
Can I have something that's similar to like a, what is it, an EMF? Like it blocks void magic?
Like an EMP?
Or EMP, sorry. I've been playing Phasmophobia too much. EMP.
Like a, yeah, I think it would just be a spell.
Yeah.
Let's go easy with this. It's gonna just be kind of like counterspell from D&D. Full success will allow you to actually grab the spell out of the air and redirect it. A partial will allow you to block it, and a failure will redirect the spell towards you.
Okay.
So if it's already coming towards you, not much else is going to change, but you're going to take the full damage. But if it's headed towards your friends and you fail the roll, it'll just redirect the spell towards you. So just kind of remember that gist, and we'll call it counterspell.
Counterspell? Cool.
The EMP is an interesting opportunity, you know, because so much of, at least in my favorite piece of fiction, The Matrix, so much of the calculation of an EMP is about the risk-reward balance and how, you know, you really, like, let's say it does just kind of like vacuum suck the magic out of a certain space that, you know, like that may have may pose quite a bit of risk for us as well. You know, that it shuts down our enemy, but we get shut down in the process, kind of thing.
Yeah, I actually do like that. I don't want to do this often, but I'm going to add a second dice roll to it. No matter what you get on your fail, partial, or success.
Is it like a range?
Yeah, you're going to, well, sort of. You're going to roll a secondary, just straight magic roll. And if it's anything other than a full success, there will be an EMP pop that shuts down magic for a round. So any active statuses will stop and you won't be able to cast for one full revolution.
Okay.
This is down and dirty. We're kind of shooting from the hip here, but I do like what Tag is saying, because like you could target an ult, like you could target Ira's spirit bomb, and just wink it out of existence, and therefore I think that there will be a constant kind of risk that will be present. So even if you're just using it on like a little firework spell, you could potentially be sucking magic out for a round. Okay, you got it. Counterspell. Okay, so I think this is how it goes down. We see a wide angle of the crater similar to the one right after we saw when the thing blew up the space. And we can see these five figures standing in the middle of it. With this epic wide, we do get the impression that you've chosen the right location. Should Cenac overdrive or do any of his crazy stuff, you obviously have more than enough space outside of town that nobody's going to be in danger. All of the workers have been dismissed for the day. But their tools, the scaffolding, all that remains at the edges of this crater. There's a few moments of silence after Bryn kind of calculates what it would take to create a counterspell, when there is a tear that appears in the sky and two red dots form a doorway floating in the air above you. And from this doorway, we see Cenac 88 float into the wasteland. Cenac looks a little bit different. Rex, you'd seen upon entering into his lab that he'd been trying to manufacture a replacement for that mask. He is wearing one now, even though you destroyed one of the prototypes. He's got a different one. This one has bright red crystals glowing like embers in the faceplate, and a jagged mouth that's been carved into it with a blowtorch. He's got a cape billowing off of him and a thrown together bit of armor that really is focused on padding the area around the O-Psi device, which you know is attached to his chest. It looks like some of that black plasteel that we saw from the flashback of Rex's past that's just been cobbled together, because his form is quite a bit bulkier than it has been. And through the creases in the metal plating, you do see a burning red energy, as though he is containing more and more power. Whatever is happening, it seems to be accelerating now that he's been getting accustomed to these things. He floats out in front of you and says, "All right, fuckers, I'm tired of playing around. You give me the instruction manual, or I nuke you."
Hi, Cenac. How you doing?
I'm doing okay, Bryn. Thank you for asking. I feel like I've got a migraine that just won't quit. But other than that, I'm fine.
Cenac, is this what you want?
No. What are you, crazy? And then he twists his head around and says, "Yes! What are you, crazy?" And then twists his head around again and says, "What?"
Cenac, is this what you want?
He grabs his head for just a moment, and you can see that he's stopping it from shaking anymore. And then he very deliberately twists it one way and then another and says, "I have come for the instruction manual. Any acts against me from this moment forward will be taken as aggression. I'm going to erase any who stand before me. What I want is now irrelevant. What I need is to fix this device." And with that, he raises his hands into the air. And you see in the sky above you, portals start to open. A lot of portals start to open. each of them a different color representing the different kinds of magic that you've come across. There's water that is pouring out of the water portals. There's these bright yellow portals, and bolts of lightning are striking the ground out of them. Fire and lava are pouring out of the red ones. Toxic clouds from blight. Vines and carnivorous plants are crawling out of the ones from bloom. It's just this huge display of magic, and he's doing it effortlessly. And he starts to float down towards you. Now, your plan was to kick him into the phase state. And because you went to the trouble to set that up, and Ira is here to assist in that, which will not count towards your call a friend, Bryn, I will allow you to do so now. All you really need to do is tell me how it works. The whole point of making you guys spend an entire episode to set this up is that this part of the plan is going to work and will not require a roll. So, Bryn, Tag, I feel like this is your thing. If you want to tell me, and Ira's there to assist, basically be your failsafe. How do you kick Cenac into the phase state?
I think for Tag, it's quite literal. All of these elemental deluges are coming down, gathering. He's slowly floating. It's a very Zack Snyder shot. You know, the cape is billowing as he sets to the ground. Tag just looks right at him and says, "Sorry, buddy," and just takes off and starts running, just running right at him. And as Tag moves towards him, he's kind of blinking. He's picking up momentum, not only in terms of his speed in the real world, but he's just pushing through the phase state. It's almost like instead of pushing through the air, it's just those layers of static, that phase. He's just cutting through it and cutting through it and cutting through it, and it's kind of starting to trail behind him. You can see this gathering kind of dust cloud of phase state energy, and then Tag just jumps up, 10 meters away from Cenac and just flies with both feet forward and kicks him right in the chest.
Okay. We're going to just hold that moment. The moment you take off, Ira drops down into a very centered, like almost martial arts pose. But as you're running through what is quickly becoming this downpour of dangerous magic, Ira starts flinging from their ring almost like void magic umbrellas. So as you are blinking, when you pop back into the real world, these umbrellas are catching the magic in the air and keeping them off you, giving you a clear path towards Cenac. Bryn, what do you do as you witness Tag leap through the air and go feet first towards Cenac?
I'm gonna open our connection immediately with Tag. I thought that my way into the phase state was through my connection with Tag, correct? Like, I don't feel like Bryn went into the phase state prior to having a parallel.
No, I think that he was the first one to bring you in. We've been defining how it works over the course of this, and I feel as though he was the first person to open that door for you. Okay. The more you enter into it, the more perhaps, I think he, especially as Tag evolves, he's like Nightcrawler in the sense that he's like in and out of this place. For you, I think it would take a bit more deliberate magic, but there was the setup that Tag has, and you have been given this little totem to even assist you more with a connection that is already strong. So you can do whatever you'd like to in this moment.
Oh, okay. Well, since Ira's got it covered with protecting Tag from the stuff that's falling from the sky, I would like to create a barrier behind Cenac so that he can't escape.
Cool.
And I'm going to use, unfortunately, sorry, Ira, the rebuildings of his house.
Okay. Again, because this is all part of the plan, this one's going to be hand waved as far as a roll goes. Tell me what you do. And you can see it as Tag is flying towards. Cenac whips the hands back to create what you think might be another like sidestep portal. But before he has a chance to, what do you do?
I'm gonna look over at the bricks and everything that's, what's this house made out of? Is it brick?
There's rubble it's a mansion's worth of rubble, and there's also new scaffolding and such. So
Okay.
just about anything you can think of.
Just gonna start plucking everything as I can, and it starts swirling, and I'm gonna place it. I'm gonna place it around to the right so that it forms this arc around Cenac that kind of blocks him in from being able to escape anywhere behind him.
Rex, you see this wonderful display of magic, hailing out of the sky as Tag is deftly popping in and out of real time, and Iris throwing these discs of void energy. And then Bryn raises her hands, and rubble starts streaming into the air. The scaffolding starts peeling apart and creating this wall behind Cenac, who actually is convinced. You can see that behind him there was a portal that formed, but Bryn puts this in between him and the portal, and he goes to leap back into it and bumps into the barrier in time to turn around and go, "Oh fuck," as Tag connects, and they explode through this rubble that Bryn has just assembled. And on the other side, we see an explosion of bricks and mortar and dust, but there is no Cenac and Tag that follow it through. Instead, in their place, there is a cutout in the air, probably chest height because Cenac was floating down towards you, that you can clearly see goes into, Rex, you've only seen this place once, but the phase state, this ethereal magical place, and Tag is sailing through it with Cenac under his feet, kind of like smashing through, and they land into it. Ira kind of just like puts all of the umbrellas together to form a walkway and says, "We need to go now," and starts heading towards that portal. Bryn, what do you do?
Me?
Yeah,
Oh, I'm 100% thinking about pie and running towards the portal.
cool. Rex, what do you do?
I pull the word Flint into my brain and then start running like Terminator style.
Tag, these connections are immediate and strong. They are in no way distracting, however. You seem to feel energized by your connection to your teammates. And those bonds that you set up in advance are now linking the three of you very strongly. Ira hops through the portal. Bryn follows. Moksha is a few steps ahead of you, Rex, and is about to hop through when you hear from the edge of the crater that you're in, "You will cease and desist!" And Moksha slides to a stop, and so do you, Rex, and you turn to see Corvix Filibust cresting the edge of the crater, the leader of the Whitecoats. And behind him is this army of nerds. And they're all outfitted with like Inspector Gadget weapons. Some of them are floating on jetpacks that look very unstable. And they have come to throw a wrench into the gears. Ira looks to Moksha and says, "We don't have time." Moksha steps away from the portal and starts her lightsabery bow and arrow and knocks an arrow and turns to face this wall of nerds and says, "I don't think I'll be able to hold them off all by myself."
And looks at me, I presume.
Yes.
Has Bryn already sailed through to the phase state?
Yeah, we're looking at like Tag getting up in a very heroic way from this kick that he's just done. Cenax in a crater like Agent Smith is in Matrix Revolutions, like trying to crawl out. And Bryn and Ira have just hopped inside the portal. So it's like we're looking through from your angle as this hole's cut in the sky, and these 4 people are on the other side of it, kind of like already ethereally in magic.
Can they hear me?
Yes, it's a doorway.
All right. I'm going to like quickly unclip the little satchel that has my bombs on it, and I've already explained to them what they do. And I'm gonna throw that through the portal and say, "I'll help you hold them off. Take these."
Okay, yeah. Ira catches it and then tosses it to whoever wants it.
I'll be there as soon as I can.
Okay. Yeah, Ira turns and says, "Do not let them disrupt this portal. There's a chance that if they do, we will be trapped here."
Got it.
Ira turns and the portal closes.
You're taking all the magic people with you then.
And the portal shrinks in size but remains open. Rex, you have no idea what is happening inside that portal. You turn to face an army of nerds. Moksha looks like, we're just going to keep throwing out the references here. Legolas during the Battle of Helm's Deep, and it's just like arrow, arrow, arrow. There's no call for arms. It's just like Corvix is standing there making a speech, and then arrows just start shooting into people around him, and he goes, "Oh, we did not expect that!" And they start taking cover around the scaffolding and this rubble, and there's just void blasts going everywhere. What would you like to do, Rex?
I'm gonna jump into some nearby construction equipment.
You're thinking
What?
like,
Dope!
there just happens to be this like walking loader.
Yeah.
It looks like a construction mech suit that wouldn't in any way resemble what Ripley drives in Aliens.
Yeah.
In no
but
way.
You climb up easily and are in there. It's actually company brand because Ira would have reached out to ask for help, so you are trained to use it. Yeah, you start marching towards the army of nerds. What do you do?
I'm gonna yank. So there's still a few columns standing at this point. Lisa's magic Bryn's magic didn't quite destroy all of them. So I'm just gonna use my mech arms and pick up one of them like it's just a big giant club, and start swinging it. You know, like I'm a giant and they're just these puny, measly little humans.
Sure, roll kick some ass.
You can
Plus
see
strength.
that shot, you know, like that wide shot of the army of people surging around this larger figure, and they're just like,
They just go flying into the
yeah,
air.
exactly.
Oh yeah, a lot of them go flying into the air because that's an 11.
Cool. That is exactly what happens. There's this like advance force that has run to you. They're holding, you know, a lot of them have these weird like rocket launchers and void blasters and all these things, but there's like this advance force that's got the more melee type weapons like Kale's punch dagger lightsaber, and they're just like spinning chains and like banging glasses together and just running at you like, ah, and you just, you know, sweep them out of the way.
Yeah, I mean, they're not used to fighting. They have cool tech, and there's a lot of them, but
Yeah.
they're not good at the fighting.
You clear this advance guard quite easily and take a step towards, and on the other edge of the crater, because it does kind of lip up and go a little bit out of sight, you can see that there are more white coats streaming down in. And then there seems to be some kind of disturbance from behind them. Because a lot of them, they get distracted by you. They're kind of caught in no man's land between you and the army, and they're stopping. And there's just something going on, and you aren't quite sure what. And then you just see, kind of like what you just did, this like pop of like white shirts as they're like flung into the air. They're just coming up over this lip like, ah, run, run. They're just like guys going everywhere. And then one of them just sails past you and smashes into the ground. And as the white shirts kind of disperse. They were holding this hard line. As they all start to disperse and scatter, just shooting wildly behind them, you see a hulking, purple, crystalline behemoth come tearing into the crater. Puck has changed his hands into those very dangerous things that he likes and is just barreling through this army.
Oh my God!
He's back!
He's back!
Oh, hi, guys. Hey. Oh, excuse me. Oh, sorry about that. Trying to land safely.
He slides in, looking like a monster, and then says these very sweet hellos. And we, the audience, actually cut back to the docks, where we see Sophia Morelli and her goon squad turn to leave. They've just dumped Sam into the water, Sophia pulling the trigger on him as he was going down. Ilario the dentist actually pauses at the edge of the pier and shakes his head. Before she steps into the car, Sophia sees this and says, "What is it?" And Ilario says,
"Let's hit Corvex and Faction number 2's leader. We know the Morellis are coming. Let's be real with some #cabbage. Here's to hoping Puck can find the fight in the phase state before it's too late."
Who is that?
That's Merc. That's 2 cabbages for Corvex and Faction number 2 leader.
Oh, nice. Thanks, Mark.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mark.
It's Cabbage City up in this mofo.
I made a note. So, and we also get to name an NPC. I think we'll use that for the next arc. I'd love to get a juicy NPC, and I have some ideas. It looks like Chad just hit the name an NPC tier as far as donation goes. So thank you so much. Chad's characters inevitably end up being my favorite, and so I'd love to get like a principal figure of the next arc. So help me remember that. So Ilario is looking in there and Sophia asks, "What is it?" And he says, "I don't know. Shouldn't we say a few words?" Sophia doesn't know how to take this, but it doesn't really matter because just then a huge purple fist punches up through the pier and wraps around Ilario's ankle. He is pulled down immediately, crushing the wood and sending it into splinters, and disappears into the water.
Uh-oh.
Sophia very slowly starts to back away. Her goons draw their blasters. What happens next?
There's like just silence for a moment, and you there's like some like bubbles, and then there's like a big splash of water as Ilario is launched up into the air, soaking wet. You just hear it's like that moment of you hear the and then he like lands on the dock, and you just hear like a wet like that. You just hear him like oh. You can just hear the stars spinning around his head, and some of the goons are like gotta help him up. And then in one of those synchronized swimming fashions, you see this not wearing a Speedo, but may as well have been, glorious purple like Aquaman like burst from the water and gracefully land on the dock, just like dripping in water, the sun just shining on him. And he says, let's see, oh crap, what would he say? He'd say something like shit. Man, It's pretty salty in there. And he just starts walking forward.
Sophia had put away her Void Blaster. She pulls it out with surprising dexterity and just unloads. But they just are like pew 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 bing 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 like bullets to Superman, just bouncing off of Puck. The others around her also open up, and there's just all these Void Blasts just like ricocheting off of this figure as he cheerfully marches forward. You've got 2 goons next to you, Puck. How would you like to handle them?
Well, I think it's going to be just like a straight shove across, so they both just go into the water. Just
right off both sides of the dock.
Yeah, just it was like up. Pardon me. Just
they do. And Sophia, now seeing that she doesn't have anybody here, is scrambling to try and get into the car that is waiting to take her. She has fired the blaster dry and then hucks it at you. Would you like to stop her from getting away?
I will. And also, Puck's commentary on her throwing the blaster is, yeah, well, I just want you to know it did hurt my feelings. I think he'll do like a grab and lift, just so the escape is no longer the escape by foot is no longer an option.
Sure.
Tisk,
The wheels actually spin up in the air as they're just grabbing nothing. Sophia's legs out, but hanging into the car, and says, "What are you? What are you?"
I think it's an important question we ask ourselves. If I'm going to be frank, it's really more important who are we more so than what. I mean, carbon is, of course, the element that most of us are assembled from, but really, it is the essence that animates us that is what is truly important, right?
She just has this dumb look on her face, and then she says, "Sammy."
That's also a matter of perspective. Puck reaches under the car and pulls part of the axle out so that it's just not going to be going again. Just sets the car down and comes over and puts 2 hands on the door, just opens it very gently. It's like, why don't we have a chat?
She does what you want. She's very wary. The fear that was kind of stemming from surprise is gone. She obviously is respecting your size and power, but she seems to be much more curious now.
Yes. So, to answer your question, no, I'm not Sam, but I do know him, and you did something real mean to him, and that's not very nice. Not really. But I think I've come up with a way for you to make amends, sort of. Since I'm new to this whole thing, he maybe did. We'll find out. Anyway, how about this? You should help us defeat the evil robot.
She says, "Oh, normally I'd ask what's in it for me, but I feel like maybe that ain't gonna go over so well this time."
No, it'll go over fine. I can tell you exactly what's in it for you. You get to live.
Yeah. Yeah.
That seems pretty good, right?
It does.
Yeah. Ooh, and maybe also I could give you my cannoli recipe. Quite tasty.
Don, we got a cannoli recipe, okay?
Yeah, I know. Sam tasted it. But I'm just saying, I've got little tricks up the sleeves. No sleeves, but there's tricks in there. If I had them, they're there.
She leans forward in the car and says to the driver, "Make a note about the cannoli thing, okay? I'm bound to forget that." And the driver, writes it down. Okay, this is not how I expected this to go. So, you will have the Morellis on your side. Sophia's no fool. She just saw you take 3 complete clips from 3 different void weapons without even getting out of breath. And she's also seen you lift cars, rip their axles off, throw people away.
Yeah, I apologize for that. I'm realizing now that this car would have been useful for us going to where we need to go.
Where you look, you don't know this so much as Puck because we'll get into it whenever you want to. But Sam's memories of Void are not as immediately apparent to you. Yeah. Sophia just gestures over, and you can see that the parlor, the nightclub that you guys have gone into several times, is not far from the docks. Kind of like it's on purpose that they needed somewhere that was near the piers. And so she actually gestures over there and says, "Step into my office." And you guys go back to the parlor and are now in Mumble's office space. A couple seconds after the door closes behind you, there's actually another knock on it. And when it opens, you can see a goon who you do not recognize holding Jenny up by the scruff of her coat. And she's saying, "Let go of me, you freaking freak! Let go of me!" And she's just swinging. And he says, "We found her snooping around. I think she's trying to get a hold of Sophie." Sophia looks to you, Puck, and then pulls out another void pistol and then shoots the goon. And
that seems like a waste of personnel.
And Sophia says, "It won't happen again."
Oh, okay. I feel like maybe you could have explained the situation. Is he going to be okay? I go over and I check him. Is he dead, or is he just like wounded, or what's his situation?
He just grumbles, kind of in like a half-conscious state, and says, "Hey, freaking monsters over here." And another guy comes and drags him out into the lobby.
Oh, you guys are really strict. I do think you could probably, benefit from the kindness in which I treat the dough of my cannoli, but we'll see.
So as far as this is going to go, Puck, this will count as your kind of asset retrieval for the plan. We know how you enter into that situation, but what exactly would you like the Morellis to do?
I think they're going to come sweeping over, like, after Puck is, like, sort of, like, bum rushed his way in, just all these, all these Morellis come out, and they've got, like, they're armed with both pastries and guns, and they're all yelling, "It's your choice! It's your choice!" And they're like, and they're kind of looking at each other like, "God, I really hope this big purple rock knows what he's talking about. I don't know if his approach is going to work for us." And Puck's like, "It's your choice! Treats or..." Oh, crap. I didn't play this one. Treats or guns. Oh, that doesn't work well at all. Guns or buns? Yeah, that's wrong also.
I do love Puck's like earnest struggle, having just come back from, death's door, and he's like off balance, not in terms of being a physical specimen, but just like his witticisms are like a little bit drunk.
So yeah, for sure. I think the price of this happening is you having to sit out and have us make fun of you for half an episode. So I think what happens is by the time that whole situation resolves and you guys actually get back to the parlor and sit down with Mumbles and you say like, "Hey, I won't single-handedly dismantle your empire if you help us," we kind of fade away from that conversation to the present time. And we see, just as Puck described it, at the opposite end of the crater, this army of Goombas come in, and the nerds and the Goombas just start clashing in the middle. And Rex and Puck, you are down there in the midst of it, kind of like fighting, like throwing these fools out of your way as you cross, and there's this big hug of a moment.
Don't forget you got some cabbages to throw, Jesse.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I think, Rex, you just give a simple, like, where have you been? And Puck thinks back, and we see a little thought bubble. And Mumbles Morelli is sitting at his desk looking at this big creature and says, "Hey, come to stay. You come in and you come to break us apart, but I don't know what to say. I don't know. I don't want to know. I just come to see this." And the tongue sitting next to him says, "He says that you come here to break us apart," and then a cabbage flies in and smacks Mumbles, and the tongue stops, and Mumbles goes, "Oh!" And the tongue turns to him and then looks to you and says, he says, "Ow?" And from off screen we hear, "Oh, yeah, boys, you tell you, pal. You know what he's talking about. He doesn't need to translate when he feels the pain, you boys are. You fucking boys are there."
It hurts. It hurts.
And as we cut back to the crater and we see this hot bubble floating above Pug's head, it's actually just...
I'm going to amend our reunion a little bit. I think what happens is you see an uncharacteristic display of affection from Rex, especially towards Puck, and she runs over in her mech loader suit and kind of picks him up with her big mechanical arms.
Yeah. So as you're swirling there, we see this thought bubble cut away, and a cabbage flies through it, dispersing it, as it goes over your heads and just smacks into Corvix, who is about to, just like, he's using, like, lawn clippers that have a motor on them, so they're going really fast. And the cabbage passes through them and just hits him in the face with salad. And he goes, "Oh, this is, again, we must think about how we enter fight, because I simply did not expect any of the things that happened after our triumphant arrival." And from behind you guys, Rex, you actually see this time, it's not just a voice from off screen. You see the fellow holding a bag, a burlap bag of cabbages, standing atop the lip of this crater. And there's a war going on around him as Goombas and nerds clash, and there's void blasts and Tommy guns and pastries flying everywhere. And the guy says, "I don't got much of the fight in this left in me, but I know one thing for sure. If the fate of the void planet is on the line, then it's all of us that have to fight to save it." Coming up over the lip behind him, kind of backlit in sunlight, there's just this army of people wearing these leisure suits. The legs are a little too short, and so are the sleeves, but they're all holding these cabbage bags. And into the fray, they just start chucking cabbages, and you just hear, "Got 'em, Boyser! That'll make 'em eat the cow! Oh, Boyser, Boyser!" And then there's just this third army that just clashes in the chaos around you as you're just spinning Puck around in your loader. Your thing. Which brings us to an interesting scenario. Despite how insane it has become outside, as your fights inevitably do, I was going to make this just like a straightforward punch 'em up, but thanks, guys. We do love the silliness. I was going to make it a requirement that Rex needed to hold the portal. But because Puck chose to ally with the Morellis and have them help, I think that is taken care of. And if the two of you would like to step through the portal and join in the big boss fight instead of having to hold the line, you will be able to do so without consequences paid for by Puck's decision. I thought he was going to go fucking Hulk on the Morellis and just dismantle them, but they're here to fight. So if you guys want to get in on the boss fight, I'd say hop through.
Yeah, I'm going in.
Carry me. This is fun.
I pick him up and I hold him like he's a baby and start running towards the portal.
I'm a baby.
Moksha's like stepping on people's shoulders, like running across the top of the crowd, firing light or arrows down into it, and slides to a stop and just kind of like touches her temple and says, "Ira, we got 2 more coming in." And the portal opens a little bit, and the two of you step inside.
Come on, we leap cinematically through it. Come on.
Sure. The two of you, Bryn and Tag, you turn to see Rex. Just tell us what it looks like, please.
So I'm cradling him like he's my giant purple crystal baby, and I just like dramatically fly through the air, and then I set him, at the last second, I twist my arms so he lands and is standing, and we both strike a pose, and I say, "The army has arrived."
Yeah!
You guys have a moment, if you'd like it. Cenac is clawing his way out of this this crater that he's just been kicked into. If you want to say any words to each other, I will give you a moment before shit gets real.
Puck?
Hey,
Hey!
I brought pastries.
Where's Sam?
It's a long story.
It's really nice to see you.
Yeah, I'd go run over and hug his leg.
Sure.
Oh,
I do have an answer for where is Sam, Puck. It is going to be a bit of a consequence.
for sure.
So whenever you want to investigate that, I think it'll just take a second for you to look inward. But you don't need to get into it now if you don't want to. Oh, actually, sorry, I forgot something. When Puck is set down, you guys have seen Puck and Sam in the phase state before. They're always together. You see them both. Sam is actually in the phase state. He's floating behind Puck as though he is still underwater, and everything about his clothes and his hair is acting that way. He is, his eyes are closed, and there's a few bubbles that are coming out from his nose and floating through thin air, and he is tethered to Puck so that whenever Puck moves, Sam is pulled along behind by a golden little thread, much like the one you followed into the darkness, Tag. I forgot that Sam's always visible in the phase state.
Does it look like he is peaceful, I suppose, or does it look like he is dying?
He is, for all intents and purposes, dead. The way that I see this having happened is that Puck would never stand for that, and has therefore managed to snatch Sam's spirit, essence, soul, in that transition and preserve it.
Oh,
so
cool.
He is dead. You will need to do something if you'd like to bring him back to life. But I imagine that's going to be more of a big magic kind of thing. Sure. As of right now, he's just kind of... You don't have a time limit. I feel that Puck's bond is so tight to Sam that he was able, much like Bryn was brought back by you, Tag, he was able to capture him.
Well, then let's go backwards a little bit and redo what just happened, because I think that is then something very visible that you're describing.
Yeah, I forgot. Sorry.
No, it's okay. So I think that it's good to know. I don't think that there's a lot of chatter here, but I think it's a good tonal addition to keep in mind that there is something somber about this. It's a very bittersweet moment. There's great joy in seeing Puck, and in the way that we have always known Sam and Puck to be a joint force in many ways. So there is that initial relief of like, it's okay, they're here, and then putting it together. And I think the Tag just gives Puck a look, and does he say something? I think he just says, "Oh, Puck." And Cenac is still trying to rise up out of the rubble, so it's not the time to talk about it. But there's just that moment of recognition and sadness, not hopelessness, not despair, but real mourning.
Yeah, and I think this is, Rex and Puck didn't have any time to talk, so I think this is also the first chance that Rex has seen that there's something wrong with the connection between Sam and Puck. And so I think there is a moment of, oh no. And then trying to refocus on the task at hand.
Okay. Sinak gets to his feet. The face state starts to shift and waver around you as though it is reacting very poorly to his presence here. He claws at his chest as a robotic scream rips through the speaker that passes for his lips. His armor and mask actually erupts in that red flame and starts to melt off of his figure, exposing the OSI device. It appears to be malfunctioning. Bolts of lightning leap off of it. And where they strike, portals appear for just a moment, then disappear just as quickly. His scream reaches a fever pitch, and then he explodes. There's a flash of red energy, a fireball, and then just a thick column of smoke. When the smoke clears, you see two figures lying prone. One is Sinak E08. He is free from the OSI device. It's no longer on his chest. He's curled into a ball and trembling. The other, especially in comparison, is a very large reptilian form. When it rises, because it does rise, it is not scared or trembling or injured. The explosion has seemed to have had no effect on it. You can see now that it's a rather large chameleon with twisting telescopic eyes. The creature boasts a spiked frill, armored scales, and shards of bone extruding from its spine. Its claws resemble the dexterous hands of a human, though they are capped with sickle-shaped claws. Again, the phase state ripples around you as different types of magic, fire, lightning, blight, all of them. They each grow in turn around this chameleon and then expand, starting to dominate the landscape, distorting the phase state so it takes on the qualities of the magic itself. For the duration of this fight, we're going to switch it up just a little bit, and I'm going to roll dice occasionally. At the top of each round, mechanically speaking, I'm going to roll a d6 as I do right now. That is a 1. The magic that ripples around the chameleon gets a distinctly purple hue. And then there is an explosion, and you find yourself in a phase state that has rearranged itself into an Escher-esque city that is rippling with void magic. It is the void planet if the void planet had been turned inside out and multiplied. The city stretches around you like a complete dome, and there are buildings sticking out at strange angles and doorways that lead nowhere and stairs everywhere. As of right now, void magic is dominant.
Oh,
we're going to enter into initiative. Puck, starting with you.
Roll initiative, or I just get to go first?
It's going to be you. We're going to go in our good old-fashioned do-si-do.
All right. Can I merge with the void magic? Do I have access to pop in through a thing and out somewhere else? Something like that?
Yeah, I think so. There's going to be special rules for what happens. I thought it was... Yeah, so what you can roll... Puck, this will not take your turn, but I am going to have you roll Investigate a Mystery.
10.
Yeah, cool. Just to give you some baseline information first before you ask your 3 questions, you can feel an almost suffocating presence of void energy, and you get the distinct impression that anything you try to do that involves void energy will only be exaggerated in effect. Because you are made of the stuff, you will be able to interact with the environment in a way that the others cannot. In fact, I hadn't even considered that when I made these rules, so.
Excellent.
I thought you were going to be outside fighting white coats.
Nope. You never underestimate the power of baked goods.
You can ask me 3 questions. They can be about the monster or the world around you.
Are any of my friends in immediate danger from the environment?
No, it does not seem that this environment, I will not say anything past this environment, but this current environment just seems to be a very confusing city. There is nothing actively coming out of it that would be hurting your buddies.
Does the lizard itself appear to be exhibiting void energy qualities?
You see a swirl of purple energy as this thought crosses your mind, coalesce around the chameleon to the point that you cannot any longer see the chameleon within the energy. And then that energy disperses, and the chameleon is nowhere to be seen.
Oh, hot.
Oh,
Spicy.
Invisible. Well, better make some dust. So I'm going to grab one of the void staircases that goes to nowhere, and I'm going to bring it down in a big thundering kaboom where the mean-looking iguana used to be.
Okay.
In the hopes that even if it doesn't do damage, I can create enough debris to outline it.
Sure. Let me just... How's Puck's magic skill? Is it good?
No.
No, okay.
Oh, yes, very good. Yeah, I totally forgot. It's his best skill.
Okay. You got a +3 anyways. Okay, so while the environment is void, you will get a +1 forward. You are not sure how that effect will change when the environment is not void. So you actually have a +4 at the moment. You're going to roll Act Under Pressure, which is just going to be, for you in void, magic.
It would be a 10.
Okay. You guys watch as Puck grabs this sideways staircase and rips it off of the wall, then smashes it where the chameleon was. The chameleon seems to have moved, but a huge cloud of dust springs up into the air. It's shimmering and kind of reflective because it is not actually dust. It is the void magic's impression of dust, but it is accomplishing exactly what Puck was hoping. And you can see a slinky little chameleon monster circling around to try and flank you. It's actually walking on the walls of the buildings and moving quite fast, which brings us to Rex.
all right. Is it pretty obvious that the main threat is this chameleon creature and no longer CNAC 88, at least right now?
Yeah, that one's easy to tell. CNAC has gotten up and he just seems a little confused, but relieved, I think, would be the more pressing emotion that he's
And
feeling.
he no longer has the O-side device.
It is gone.
Okay. Then I think, since we don't know how long that dust is going to stick around, it's time for some 6 stunts to try and plant those 3 charges on this chameleon creature.
Cool.
Fuck yes, it
Yes,
is.
for sure. I'm going to have you roll Dex. That's your 6 stunts, or do you roll Strength? What do you got? You got a move called 6 stunts. I want to honor that.
Yeah, I think it's a strength. It should be Dex, but my Dex is so bad that I feel like we should make it. Or
it even says Strength. Why would I just give that to you?
I don't know, but you did.
Here's how we're going to do this. A fail gets you 1, a partial gets you 2, a success gets you all 3, but anything less than a success will have consequences.
All right. Okay, that one's canted, so I have to re-roll it, but it was a good one. Oh no. Okay. Ooh. Oh wait, that's a 7.
Okay, cool. You are able to tell us. You get 2. How do you do it? This thing's running on the side of a wall right now.
Yeah, I think I'm running alongside it as fast as I can, just keeping an eye on it. And then there's one of those staircases to nowhere. And so at the last second, I just, pull myself up onto it and like backflip over the chameleon and like plant the first one. I'm going to try and aim for like this area.
There's a spike frill that has some like real estate underneath the flap,
Well, I want to get close to it without actually touching the frill.
Sure.
If possible.
You are able to stick 2 of those sticky bombs onto this monster. And you land on your feet.
And it's a slow motion, like really cool looking backflip through this sparkly void dust.
For sure. You land and you stick it. And then you are caught in the chest with a beam of void energy. It seems as though the chameleon has swiveled its little telescopic eyes to locate some thread in the air and then direct this energy that is all around you to turn into a weapon, a microwave beam, and it hits you for 3 damage magical.
Well, you know what that means. I actually take some harm, and then I have a +1 going forward.
Okay, you better mark that because I don't think you guys are going to be able to beat this monster today, so remember that. It catches you in the chest, Rex, and flings you backwards into one of the Escher-esque buildings, which crumbles around you, and as it does, more of that dust, that sparkling dust, floats into the air. Bryn.
Yeah. Okay. So, so we've got, so Puck made it so the creature was visible, right? So it's not being hidden anymore.
It is still technically cloaked, but the dust has collected on it, so you can see it just fine.
And Rex has placed the explosives on it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so technically she can blow it up. So I'm trying to think logistically what would be the best thing for me to do. What trumps void? Anything?
We haven't really gotten into that.
Blight.
I think it's Blight as well. I mean, it's the one that makes the most sense because Void cancels things out, but Blight robs magic of its power. So Blight would just sap Void.
And the Blight summon I got was a bat?
Yes.
I think I'm going to summon the bat to have on hand.
Cool. The way that this is going to work is that... Let me go to you.
There's a giant skylight, the shape of a bat. Turn it on, point it straight up at the night sky.
Your summons work.
Batman.
Your summons can be used in either a narrative capacity or in battle, once per mission. Ultimates are listed. We did not define the bat. So you can either have it give you an effect going forward or to deliver a very powerful attack. Do you have a preference?
Well, I don't know what Rex's spell is going to do. So I feel like... Because hers gets set off remotely. Yours is remote, right? So it's not like my attack would trigger your attack. But maybe...
She also tucked it underneath this little frill. So you can see that there's like this armored bib almost protecting the bombs.
Why don't I attack it and maybe we can immobilize it so that we can get a safe distance from it when you detonate it and we don't injure ourselves.
Well, it's their implosion rather than explosion.
So it's going to suck things into it?
Yes. We think. We theorize.
Pure mischievousness.
We're in the phase state. Anything is possible, is my feeling about the phase state.
Yeah. I'm going to have the bat launch an attack.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's the call.
I had an attack that Slokta could do that you guys never got hit with, so I will just give it to the bat.
Nice.
It's called Blight Storm. You hold up your
Bilbo
staff.
Blightons. Come on.
Bilbo Blightons. You hold up your staff, and from the sickly green crystal, there is an explosion of blight magic, and the bat screams into the sky. You do notice, however, that it is probably half the size that it would be normally, and everybody who is usually in tune with magic would get the distinct impression that the suffocating void presence is interfering with this other kind of magic.
Oh.
In the way that putting the pieces together, the way that Puck is able to so easily interact with this place because he's made out of void, sending a new magic into it is having a different effect. And the bat screams and spirals into the sky, and kind of like Pokemon, just is like floating in front of the chameleon. And
okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, it's just I'm trying to think because I can hold its move because I also have the ability next round to use Force of Will, which would dispel a magical effect. So I could.
Wait, you have straight up Force of Will?
I do.
Okay, that's broken and awesome.
I would say in this instance, the bat is going to launch the attack.
Okay.
Simply because part of seeing the effect is going to be knowledge that you can use moving forward. As this
okay.
goes. So
Okay.
if you didn't have like 5 other summons on deck, maybe I'd hook you up. But you
Can
got
I use
fucking
other
monsters in
summons
that staff.
on the same fight?
Yeah, you never use them.
I thought I could only use one per fight.
Each one time per arc.
Oh,
At this
shit.
point, you've got like 4.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
You fucker. That's why I said you could use them as narratives. So if you guys are ever like, we want to do a thing, you could just have a giant Sammy serpent do it for you or whatever. But
Ooh. Okay.
hey, if you're
I should
nerfing
have used
yourself,
it with
the
my
power to
fight
you.
with Ira. God, I'm gonna stick it on him. Oh wait, I did. Wait, no, I didn't. No,
You
that
did
was
like a
giraffe
little
box.
snake. You
It
threw
was
like
a giraffe
little
box. It sucked. Fine.
So the Blight Vat goes up and casts Blight Storm, and you can actually see this swirl of disgusting mists like you would see floating over a bog forming next to its huge ears. And then this concussive blast precedes the spell as this wave of noxious gas rolls forward, and you see these bolts of blight kind of striking the chameleon. It actually flips it off of the wall and makes it tumble into the center of this like courtyard, for lack of a better word, that you guys have found yourself in. And it would normally take a full 7 harm.
Oh.
But because it is blight in a void space, it's actually going to be rounded up to 4. It seems that it is doing half damage being off element. But it is a summon, and it pierces through the chameleon's armor. And you see some of its bone fragments fray and go into dust. Mechanically speaking, you can tell that it has lost 1 armor point.
What did we figure out about? I thought we arrived that Blight was kind of the rock to void scissors.
Yes. So
and hence why she chose the bat.
Right. There's a strange rule that is happening with the arena. The only reason that spell is not doing full or double damage is just because of this battle's 1 mechanical crux. Right now, the place is void. It seems to be operating slightly outside of our normal elemental rules.
Fine, I'll fix it on my next turn.
Tag. The bat curls back into a ball of mist and slides into the crystal on Bryn's staff, lighting it back up.
What, Bryn? Jesse's changing the rules?
I know, right?
I'll fucking kill you again, dude.
It's funny because it's true.
Well, I mean,
GM swap,
Sam is
GM
currently dead.
Puck's still alive though. You gotta
Yeah,
be careful. I got one dude left.
Tag, you see the chameleon trying to get to its feet in a crispy little pile in the center of the courtyard.
So I think my move is going to be largely reactive here. I think what happened is that as Tag did his sort of running at Cenac, he really like kind of felt the phase. You know what I'm saying, man? He
Fuck yeah, man.
felt the fucking phase, man.
Fucking LinkedIn, man.
Fucking just
Vibe.
Yeah, so I think that there has been and I think why it's happening is because of the ceremony, the ritual they performed the other night, and having his team here with him, grounded through the magic they did into the phase, that he just kind of has a command over it. So what I think that what a Tag is doing is kind of being a matador of sorts, and as the creature makes moves, I want Tag to be kind of like pulling the Escher staircases down and like twisting them around and opening doors and pulling them out. He just kind of like, it's like when you're in a swimming pool that's only sort of chest height and you run your hand across the water. I think the Tag can kind of do that now with the phase state. It just sort of like almost pull the air around him in different ways. And that's sort of his like, he's got the cape with the bull.
Okay. Yeah. And you're trying to, more than anything, just draw the chameleon to you?
It's about distraction, and immobilization, and disorientation, however you want to play with that.
Yeah, you're going to be able to do those things because I think that is how Tag's trajectory is going. That this is becoming more and more like the construct, like in the Matrix, where you could actually just like enter into this place and kind of set up whatever you want.
I'm so glad that you mentioned the Matrix because I just did want to offer the visual that as Tag, as Tag was gathering phase matter running towards the creature, or running towards at that time Cenac, it was that Matrix 2 shot of Neo just flying so fast to rescue Morpheus on top of the truck that like all the cars and buildings and mailboxes and shit were like.
That was when he's not flying to the freeway. That's when he's flying to get to Trinity.
Catch Trinity.
Which no, it's all right. I love the Matrix movies. Not really the third one, but all the way up to him going just buck wild and having like all the cars floating is just for love.
Thank you.
Oh, and then when Link is like,
that's the freeway. That is the freeway.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah. Roll plus magic just to give us an idea of your success. It's not going to dictate your ability to do these things. You can do these things.
That's an 11.
Okay, cool. What do you want to achieve here? If you could get either... Yeah, just tell me.
I kind of want it to be a reactive move. It is going to be one of those three. It's going to be distraction, immobilization, or disorientation. And depending on what the chameleon does, I'll maybe pull one of those, or is that a little...
Yeah, no, that's cool. I think that actually works perfectly because you're at the end of the order, so actually something is about to trigger. So those of you who are not in the midst of like doing crazy shit already, you do see Tag enter into this kind of calm warrior flourish as he's harnessing these different pieces of the phase state. He's actually rearranging the things that are there and kind of like circling the energy and just preparing what looks to be like a crazy fucking thing as the chameleon hops up onto its legs and shakes the shimmering dust off of itself. It turns to bear down on Bryn, who just caught this or hit it with this big summon. And you can see that it's doing something with its eyes again, trying to locate something. When it finds it, they both kind of cycle in on it, and you feel the phase state shimmer again and shake and kind of get disrupted. That is a 6, which means the city around you all of the windows and the doors, they start to, the windows start to crack and the doors start to press out of their frames. And then the windows shatter and the doors burst open, and these huge green vines covered in spikes just explode out, and there's flowers that are exploding out of them too. And the city actually crumbles and just bursts. It's like it's being reclaimed by nature as all of the energy here shifts. And the city explodes in this shower of like cherry blossom petals that are just floating down. And all of this magic is replaced by bloom energy. In this tag, you feel those things you were grabbing onto, the city that was pulling away, start to slip out of your fingers. But before they go away, you're able to grab it, identify what is coming next in this new form of energy, and just redirect it. So it's like this huge tunnel of smoke gets pulled away, and then you pull it back, and you are able to harness this now bloom energy. It looks like the chameleon, in the process of shifting the world around you, is now charging at Bryn. What would you like to do with your prepared attack?
I think it's just able to take those vines and just kind of cross them right in front of the chameleon,
Sure.
obstructing the path.
Yeah, they whip up from the ground. It's like I said, they're just covered in these huge thorns, like this briar, and they just wrap up and around the chameleon as it stops full force and collapses into the ground. And the rest of you look up to see that Tag is kind of glowing. All of you have these strange phase presences. Pux is usually simultaneous with Sam. Bryn is this glowing goddess-like figure. Rex, what do you look like in the phase state? We've talked about this before.
I was hoping you would remember, because I was thinking about this earlier, and I was like, I don't remember what I look
Rex looks like this fucking awesome thing that I'm sure Merc will tell us about in chat. And Tag is standing there.
We have talked about Bryn's before?
I think we've talked about all of us.
Or sorry, not Bryn's. Sorry, I'm doing that more and more these days. Rex?
Yeah, it was one moment that Half-Dad kind of pulled y'all into that pool of ichor when he made the deal before this arc.
Was it like, I have this sort of like knight figure in my brain. I don't know if that's accurate or not, but just this like heavily armored, glorious, kind of like paladin of battle figure.
I feel like that's right. You guys had mirror versions of yourselves that you fought on the Blight Planet, and it was an empty, like an armor, a phantom armor suit that represented Rex. So I feel like hers was the good person version of that. We're going to go with that. You all turn to see Tag, who you've seen in the past in the phase state, either wearing some kind of shadow monster behind him, or just a shadow monster, or his father's crown. And when you all look over to Tag this time, he's just Tag, except he's got a lot of fucking magic swirling around him with the direction of his fingertips. And he says,
Sayonara, bug.
Blackout.
Well, let me just say, oops on that one. If I was known it was the blackout line, I might have, given it a little extra half second to let, you need the first. It's like when you, you give a urine sample. You're supposed to pee a little bit and then put the cup there, because you got to get rid of the useless stuff. Anyway.
Yeah.
What?
The unusable urine.
Unusable, yeah. You don't immediately start peeing in the cup. You got to pee a little bit and then put the cup there.
Yeah, this is in no way trying to disagree with you, because I think you're right. But before I forget, what we're going to need is the character who will be in charge of the parallel monastery. No spoilers. For the next arc. So if chat wants to do whatever they do with Mark and Merc's help to get us kind of the flavor of that character and a name, I would love that. That'll be the NPC that will be named. We will not see them next session, but we will see them in the first episode of the next arc.
Cool. All right. Do you get a question from chat, Jesse?
I do. This is also from Sue.
Nice.
And it is, if you could bring back one extinct species, what would it be and why?
I think I saw this one in the Discord and I thought, I have no idea. This is going to be simultaneously a cop-out answer and also like a really overtly political contemporary response. But I think my response is like, ask a fucking scientist who knows this shit. You know, like, be like, hey, you have trained and studied and researched your whole life. There's a right answer. Like, there's not a right answer. It's a flavorful question. But, you know, like, there's got to be a better. There's just fucking, like, whatever the fucking experts say.
You could hold it and then be like, 3 years from now, bees.
Oh, sad.
Yeah. That's rough.
I'll bring it back up with my real answer, though, okay?
Don't take my answer. Don't take my answer. What is it?
Megalodon.
Oh.
Here's why.
Good.
Same movie, no special effects.
That's a bad movie. That's a real bad movie.
It's delightful.
Yeah. Megalodon. Sorry, I was thinking of the Meg. The Meg.
That's what we're fucking talking about.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Oh, oof.
Yeah, Casey, think about it. Same movie, but real shark.
It would still be bad because that movie makes no sense. Let me explain to you how bad this movie is, just in case anybody out there is lucky enough to not have watched this. All right.
I've never seen it.
All right, great. I'm about to spoil it for you, so you don't have to watch it. So, the opening sequence is Jason Statham doing an underwater rescue of some people from a submarine that have been attacked by the Meg. All right, and this is why he has a drinking problem that consists of him having like 2 beers on a Saturday afternoon, where they're like, "Oh, he's all washed. Yeah, he's all washed up." I'm like, "Yep." So he saves them from the Meg, but he doesn't save everybody. So he's tormented from his horrific deed that he only saved like 80% of the crew or whatever. Flash forward to like 40 minutes later in the movie, where they are sending down this experimental diving unit that is going to be able to go deeper into the ocean than has ever been gone before. And it goes through this sort of like stratosphere layer of undersea development. And they go down so deep and they find all these new creatures, like all these strange things that they've never seen before. They're like, this is incredible. And then through freak happenstance, they end up puncturing this thing and all this water starts shooting out. And it releases all these creatures, including, for the very first time, the Megalodon. That's right. They actively show you how they release the creature after they've already used the creature as a plot device in the rest of the ocean.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is weird.
I think your criticisms are null and void because they are in reference to a movie whose whole convention is just a really big shark and Jason Statham punches him. I don't give a fuck about that kind of logic.
Here's the
Wait, Jason Statham's in it? That ups the quality just a little bit.
Guys,
you and I got the same haircut.
Look, if they really cared about the shark, if they just banked on the shark and been like, look, it was sleeping in a cave, and then the submarine sonar woke up the shark, and then it came out, it did its thing, and then by virtue of him like detonating the nuclear sub or whatever, the radiation caused the Megalodon to retreat for a little bit, and then it came back. Easy fix. You just throw in 2 lines of exposition. But no, they didn't care about that. All they cared about was making him an American lush and then trying to hide the shark for 40 minutes instead of just pulling a straight jaws. They didn't do one jaw shot. We didn't get one giant fin in the whole movie in a good way.
This movie is the best.
It's ridiculous. They just squander them. Don't get me wrong. Megalodon as a creature, I love. It's amazing. It's so sweet. The poster with the dude on the surfboard and that giant shark in the wave I was like, yes, sign me up. I saw it in the theater. Yes, it was Movie Pass, but yes, I saw it in the theater. but for them to just slap us in the face, to just say, here is your entree, and then be like, oh, by the way, your entree won't be ready for 40 more minutes. It's like, no. I've already seen it. You gave me a bite. I got a taste of the entree. The steak is ready. Let me keep it. They're like, no.
Was it the Meg? It wasn't like some other giant creature that fucked with that initial submarine?
No, and I would have accepted that too. Had it been some like giant squid, had it been a kraken, or like a dolphin with human arms, or a clam.
And a penchant for disaster.
Like a clam that accidentally ate like a barrel of plutonium and turned it into a radioactive beast because the pearl in it became sentient and then powers it like some sort of like crystalline mech suit, and it can like it's so sharp it can like crush. Like I would.
Somebody write this shit down. Somebody get a pen.
I just got the next big bad idea. Okay. Lisa, animal
What?
extinct.
Centaurs.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, we're gonna let that go. We're gonna let it go. And why?
Duh. I think it's kind of self-explanatory. They're cool as shit.
Okay.
And don't even try to say they were never alive. How do you know? Maybe they've been extinct
I didn't say
so long.
shit. I said we're gonna let it fly. Trin?
I can't top any of these answers. I'm not even gonna try.
Okay. Lisa, you're now allowed to end the show.
Thanks for hanging out.
What was Casey's?
Oh yeah, what was Casey's?
Oh, I talked about the Meg. I'm gonna go with the dodo. I feel like they got a bad shake. Are you really the last of the dodos? Yes, I'm really the last of the dodos.
That's pretty good.
I think we gotta just pull the curtain on this thing. Let's, everybody knows where to find other Good Zoe shows, Discord, Twitter. We gotta just go down on that.
Thanks, everybody. Do you want me to do
I'm
it?
not
Why
trying
is it
to.
close
Sorry,
up on
Lisa,
me?
I wasn't actually trying to steal that away from you. I was
Okay.
that as a way to applaud Casey.
Reliable. So, thanks for hanging out with us. Tomorrow is Zoe Game Night in the Discord. You can hang out 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And then Monday is the Reliables at 6 p.m. Their website is live. They now have a website. We may have a website coming. More news on that later. Thank you so much to Mark Thomason for working all the magic behind the scenes and the camera work, everything. Thank you, Mark. Could not do this without you.
Yeah.
Thank you to Aaron Buman for our intro and our music. And I don't know what he's going to cook up for the next season. I can't freaking wait to see it. His graphics and his music are stunning.
He said something to me about Gregorian chants.
Yes.
Oh.
Okay. Why does that throw me to that band in the 90s that sang the like weird stuff? Ugh, I can't think of the name of them.
Peaches for me.
Not that.
They were so weird.
I'll think about it and put it in the Discord.
Centaurs. I love it. It's candy for my heart.
Thanks
you, Mark.
everybody who don't. Oh, sorry, Lisa.
Thank you, Mark, for modding this craziness. We appreciate you so much. Thank you for all the work that you do behind the scenes for Void Jumpers with writing and helping us create a wiki and a website. We adore you. Thank you so much for the donations to Mark and to Rob and to Thing. Did I miss anyone?
Sue for our opening.
Sue for our opening story. Thank you so much. That was so ridiculous. I don't even know what we did.
What were
I
our
blacked it out.
names? Captain
Gorge. Captain Gorge. Neb. Fleasley. And Gracey.
Yep.
Fleasley.
I meant to call Casey a jerk, and I forgot his name, so I called you a jerk, and I was like, "Oh, that's the wrong person." That was very embarrassing.
I didn't know who was who for most of that time.
Can we do a cutaway someday of Gracey's meeting with her accountant that she was at 4 o'clock. It just seems like some very passive, not even passive aggressive, just some sort of debate about whether it's better to do an itemized as opposed to standard deduction based off these the cleaning bills from the company for getting goo out or something.
Oh yeah. Oh my god, that'd be very funny. That's ridiculous. Yeah, thank you all. Thank you, Zombie Orpheus, for hosting us. You'll find us next week. It may be the season finale. I don't know.
I'd like it to be. We're gonna try.
Okay. We're gonna aim for that.
There's a chance that we don't want to rush it and we get one more after it, but I'd like it to be.
Cool. All right. I think that's all
Bless
I got.
you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
We'll see you next week.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Centaurs.
Shut up.
I loved it. No, I loved it. I really loved it. I loved it.
I wanted to say it so bad, and I was like, what if they think I'm actually serious?
I know it works.